The following is a presentation of ESPN on ABC.
Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's fastest half mile tonight, becomes the world's largest college football stadium. The ball walk is a sea of orange. Tennessee a little loose in the turns in the opener, hoping to show some championship horsepower tonight. While Virginia Tech is under a new regime, and we'll find out just what the Hokies have under the hood. Tennessee, Virginia Tech in the battle at Bristol. Welcome to the Pilot Flying J Battle at Bristol. Presented on ABC by Wells Fargo. Bristol Motor Speedway tonight will host more than 150,000 people, the largest crowd ever to see a college football game as Virginia Tech, 1-0 out of the ACC, takes on 17th ranked Tennessee, also 1-0 from the SEC. Reese Davis and Kirk Herbstreit here. Chris Fowler working the U.S. Open tonight. Kirk, Tennessee comes in here after dropping 8 spots in the AP poll, second largest drop for a team coming off a win, and it's because they weren't impressive. And the question about the Vols, how do they handle a big stage? This is a big stage.
First of all, welcome aboard, my man.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Tennessee got off to a slow start to the season. I think it had as much to do with their attitude. I don't think they showed up mentally really respecting Appalachian State. I think you're going to see a whole different team tonight led by their quarterback, Josh Dobbs. It's a team that last year went 9-4. They returned 17 starters. An offense looked great the last 7 weeks, and it was because of Dobbs' ability to run and throw. I think you'll see him more involved tonight in the running game, maybe up to 10 to 12 carries tonight for him. I think he's got weapons around him. Jalen Hurd, one of the best backs in the SEC. Josh Malone, a guy who can get downfield vertically. And Virginia Tech and Bud Foster will attack this Tennessee offense. I think they have the Vols' attention, and I think you're going to see a whole different team than what you saw last week.
A Bud Foster lunch pail defense, we're familiar with that. Virginia Tech on offense is going to look completely different now under new head coach Justin Fuente.
Well, Justin Fuente is a great offensive mind. It's probably why he got the job. You go back to his years at Memphis as a head coach. Before that, offensive coordinator for Gary Patterson at TCU. Remember, Andy Dalton played for him. His system is very familiar with college football fans because he spreads the field out, and he loves to attack downfield with wide receivers. And he's got some experience with Isaiah Ford. The thing tonight we're going to find out, does he have the quarterback? Gerard Evans comes from the junior college ranks. Honestly, this is his first real feel of big-time college football. How will he respond to adversity? He's got the tools, but can he deal with the adversity in a Vols defense that's determined to make him prove that he can move the ball against an SEC defense?
You know, Gerard telling us yesterday, he's an emotional guy. Sometimes it takes him a little bit to settle down into a game, and there's going to be plenty of energy at this event tonight, the battle at Bristol. These two schools really aren't that far apart, despite the fact that they don't play that often. If you're not familiar with where Bristol is, it sits right on the Tennessee and Virginia state line, almost equidistant, Bristol Motor Speedway from Blacksburg to Knoxville. Now, they had a NASCAR race here less than 3 weeks ago, and it took 19 days for the transition. They had to bring in truckloads of gravel to raise the infield and then roll out the AstroTurf 3D, by the way. How big is this place? You could fit the big house from Michigan inside it, or if you prefer baseball, maybe you want to see a doubleheader. You could see Fenway Park on the left and Wrigley Field on the right. That's how huge this place is tonight. It is built for racing, and if we're built for racing, we need pit reporters like Dr. Jerry Punch.
Hey, thank you very much, Reese. Hello, everyone. Folks, think about it. Just over 3 weeks ago, where I'm standing was an asphalt parking lot filled with stock cars and semi-tractor trailers. But within 7 hours of waving the checkered flag, the dump trucks began to roll. 450 trucks filled with gravel raised this area about 3.5 feet. Then they put a layer of sand on top with heavy equipment to level it. Then they rolled out this high-tech rubber mat called Nike Grind, made up of ground-up football cleats. How cool. And then on top of that, 101,000 square feet of turf with every 5 yards having to be hand-stitched together. Then they covered it all with 360,000 pounds of sand and composite. Now, normally it would take 25 days for that project to be completed. These folks here did it in 10 days. So how about that? A record-setting construction project paving the way for a record-setting crowd. Speaking of crowds, my man Marty Smith hanging out with people who are wearing different shades of orange.
Doc, thank you. Good evening. For 20 years, I've made fun of Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr. for showing up to work in glorified onesie adult pajamas. Now look at us. Welcome to an event 20 years in the making. Back in the mid-90s, former Bristol Motor Speedway general manager Jeff Bird had an idea. Tennessee Volunteers, Virginia Tech Hokies, Bristol Motor Speedway, because as Reese mentions, this track is basically a center point between the two campuses. But some politics got in the way. Some of the folks down at Tennessee didn't like the idea that the most watched game in Tennessee history wouldn't take place at Neyland Stadium. Ultimately, common sense prevailed because of the success of events like the Carrier Classic in college basketball and the Winter Classic in hockey. So here we are. We have Hokies. We have Vols. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Marty, I believe that the ladies have already started their engines just behind you, and it reminded me that they did buy 545,000 beers to sell at this event.
Did they?
Tonight, yeah.
I think I know where 20 of them went.
You look at the battle at Bristol by the numbers, 236 miles between these two, and these two teams getting set to clash here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats, and veterans render a hand salute as Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Jennifer Nettles honors America with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
What a way to get things started. Battle at Bristol, not too far away. Tennessee and Virginia Tech on Saturday Night Football.
Rush with Stan Verrett, Mac Brown, and Mark May is next, after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Hey, Mark, you look like Derek's little brother.
It happens to everyone. It's the Derrick Henry effect.
What's up, Derek?
What's up?
Welcome to the Nissan pregame rush. Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Welcome into our ABC studio. Stan Verrett along with Mac Brown and Mark May getting you ready for all the action from Bristol. Already had a crazy ending in the Central Michigan-Oklahoma State game from earlier today. Cooper Rush drops back to pass, heaves one up deep, caught by Jesse Kroll, who laterals it to Corey Willis, a play that shouldn't have happened because it came after an intentional grounding call.
And you're right, it shouldn't have happened, but what a terrific job of executing a play like this on the final play of the game, Coach.
Yeah, give credit to Central Michigan. They played really well, but it's a shame that human error changed the outcome of this game.
Gave the Chippewas an untimed down when they shouldn't have after the intentional grounding call on fourth down. Troy taking on Clemson. This was a game. Deshaun Watson, in the end, helped his team pull it out. Hits Deion Kane for the touchdown there. Clemson wins 30-24. Nichols and Georgia. The Bulldogs had more trouble with the Colonels than they had with North Carolina last week. Lorenzo Carter, 24-yard fumble return. Some more modest numbers for Nick Chubb. in this game as Georgia wins at 26-24. Jalen Hurts, first true freshman to start for Alabama at quarterback since 1984. 287 yards, pair of touchdowns for him. DeAndre Francois, 3 more touchdown passes. Florida State beats Charleston Southern. Our game, Coach, who wins?
I think Tennessee wins because they've been around longer. They got more older, experienced football players. Going to be a great defensive battle. Somebody probably going to win the kicking game.
I think Tennessee wins this game because they have more talent than Virginia Tech and because of more experienced staff with the talent that they have. Joshua Dobbs, the Tennessee quarterback, has to play much better in this game than he did last game.
All right, we'll see you at the half. Time to drop the green flag with Reese Davis and Kirk Herbstreit.
All right, Stan, and the Virginia Tech fans are certainly ready for that as we continue here at Bristol Motor Speedway. More than 150,000 will be here. We have a representative from the Guinness Book of World Records to document the crowd, but really all that's going to matter for Derek Barnett in Tennessee, the 22 are on the field at any given time. This guy's an elite pass rusher, 20 sacks in 2 years. He's only 12 shy of Reggie White's career record at Tennessee. He'll be getting after Gerard Evans. This has been the Nissan pregame rush. Kickoff from Bristol is coming up next, and now a look inside Nissan's Heisman House.
Snore, dance all night, gonna make you sore. Who's that rapping at my door? Is that Lenore? Never more. You me, baby, I'm a gator boy, through and through. My heart beats strong with that orange and blue. My Nissan Armada is gator green. I'm living the dream.
Oh, he's so cute. I bet he's dreaming of puppies.
To football fans, Bristol Motor Speedway is going to be something totally new. But for us racers, it also feels kind of familiar. 150,000 plus, packed to the sky. Ears ringing, helmets flying, hard contact, even officials throwing flags. For 55 years, from the king to the kid, racers have filled these hills with cheers and boos. My daddy filled them with both. Tonight, they will be filled with orange and maroon, balls and Hokies, a town and a track divided between 2 states. Yeah, they've moved some stuff around for the game, but it's still Bristol. All this green can only mean one thing. Go. Welcome to the battle at Bristol.
Let's take a look at On the Road to Bristol, brought to you by Pilot Flying J. They call this place the last great Coliseum, and it feels that way for sure. Rising up in the Smokies here, the lights around as darkness has fallen here in the foothills of the Appalachians on a perfect night for football. Temperature sitting at 84. The slightest wind to speak of. The forecast is partly cloudy. We've seen some weather delays across the country, but that does not appear to be an issue for us here on the Tennessee-Virginia state line tonight in Bristol, Tennessee. Big Ten officiating crew is going to work this game tonight, led by referee Daniel Capron, and there are dignitaries from both Tennessee and Virginia Tech here. As Marty Smith told you earlier, this has been 20 years in the making, a vision that has now become reality for these two schools. This virtually the midway point between the two of them. And you see Peyton Manning over there as you have a look at Justin Fuente. Saw Bruce Smith from Virginia Tech out at midfield. Hokies wearing those Hokie Stone uniforms. That is the dominant stone on the Virginia Tech campus. Tennessee in their customary orange and white. And I mean, these guys are ready to go. Volunteers walking their way out. Fuente's pretty even-keeled, isn't he? Ready to get this thing started. Let's go down to the field.
Gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce to you tonight Mr. Bruton Smith, He's the chairman of the Bristol Motor Speedway, and he's going to flip the coin for us. Virginia Tech, you're the visiting team. We have a ceremonial coin which is marked with the heads and with the tails. Mr. Smith's going to flip that coin in the air. We're going to allow it to hit the ground. What is your call? Tails. Tails is called. Mr. Smith, would you do us the honors? Flip it up. It is heads. Tennessee, you've won the toss. What do you want to do? Defer. You want to defer. Tennessee has won the toss and elected to defer their choice to the second half. Virginia Tech, you want the ball. Which goal do you want to defend?
We'll kick this way.
Kick this way. Please put your backs over here. Virginia Tech, backs over here. Virginia Tech will receive to start the game.
This is an atmosphere unlike any that any of these players have ever been in, and certainly, I mean, the entrance at Virginia Tech enters Sandman running through the tee in front of 100,000 at Neyland Stadium. Great moments, but this is unique. This is different for all of them.
For Justin Fuente, he's trying to get his team ready to go, obviously. New era beginning. These players are fired up. And you wondered why Tennessee was flat against Appalachian State, because they were looking at this night. That will not be an issue for Butch Jones and the Vols tonight.
And here's Joshua Dobbs, the veteran quarterback for the Volunteers. A lot on him to improve his passing. And here comes the Big Orange. As they say around here, it's football time in Tennessee. When things are going well for the Big Orange, you hear that unofficial anthem over and over. And now the Hokies are coming to meet them. The Chicago Maroon and burnt orange in the stands. The Hokie Stone uniforms. Virginia Tech and Tennessee about ready to go. Samantha Ponder with us tonight as always. She's with Butch Jones.
Coach, your quarterback said last week the team just lacked intensity. I imagine that's difficult to do tonight, but how would you describe the way your offensive line and quarterback got better during practice this week?
Well, we had a great week of preparation. It's relied on your habits that you established throughout the course of the week and in your football program, and we've done it before. And again, we've had a very productive week. Now we have to make it count tonight.
Coach, we talked about the difficulties this environment presents in terms of depth perception, but also the two lights in these corners over here. How would you characterize your concern with some of the variables here?
Well, we have to focus. That's uncontrollable factors. The biggest thing is going to be communication with the crowd noise.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank you.
Sam, Butch, thank you very much. And here is the new head coach of the Hokies, Justin Fuente. And Kirk, hey, look, his record is just okay. But you have to understand, when he took over at Memphis, they had won 5 games in 3 years. 19-6 his last 2 seasons, and he's 1-0 here at Virginia Tech.
That's a great point, and very deserving of this opportunity. And I think if you look at kind of what he represents, the type of coach that he is, how he grew up as a young coach with Gary Patterson, it's similar. He brings a blue-collar approach to Blacksburg, which fits with Bud Foster and kind of the traditional outlook of Hokie football over the years with Frank Beamer.
As you heard at the coin toss, Tennessee's going to kick it off. Aaron Medley will get us started. Greg Stroman's deep, underway from Bristol Motor Speedway. Stroman's got it in the corner. Orange everywhere, and he can't even get started. And Tennessee has him knocked down right at the 10-yard line. And here comes the Hokies quarterback, Gerard Evans.
Gerard Evans, we saw him at the walkthrough. What an impressive guy to talk to. There's a good look in his eye. I think the first thing is the first real test. This is an opportunity for him to see how he handles adversity. Has a big arm. He's going to have to challenge Tennessee downfield, and he's got a lot of weapons around him. Isaiah Ford, number 1, is his go-to man. You also see Trayvon McMillan in the backfield. They've got a lot of skill, and they have the ability to challenge this Tennessee defense.
Evans, a transfer from Trinity Valley Community College, where he threw 38 touchdown passes a year ago. 4 touchdown passes in the opener against Liberty. They go empty. Evans gets a quick completion to the dangerous Isaiah Ford. Ford at 11 catches for more than 100 yards a week ago. And this is not what you'll see, or what you've seen in the past from Virginia Tech, I should say. Hokies want to pick up the pace. Picked up 5 on first down. Bucky Hodges in motion. First carry of the night goes to Trayvon McMillan, and McMillan is up close to the first down before he's knocked down by Jalen Reeves-Maben.
Go back to Justin Fuente as a play caller, even at TCU and in Memphis. The first thing he says when you talk to him about his offense, we got to get the ball in the perimeter. We got to get the ball in the perimeter, meaning first play, just throwing it out. Those quick look passes, screen passes. They love to stretch the defense out horizontally, make those defensive linemen and linebackers have to run sideline to sideline, and then they go back to the bread and butter, which is running between the tackles. A little bit of a cat and mouse game.
First third down of the night. And Sam Rogers trying to get everybody lined up, and Virginia Tech has to take a timeout. In the early going, first half particularly, a little confusion in the backfield. Want to try to keep this drive alive and build a little confidence. Might as well use a timeout and make sure that you get things straightened out. Now, Kirk alluded to Justin Fuente's background, first head coaching job at Memphis, but he certainly has a deep background at Illinois State. He was the offensive coordinator, and also at TCU, where he had great success.
Yeah, he did a great job there, really made a name for himself, opened up the opportunity to become a head coach, and now here he is in Blacksburg, taking over for a legend in Frank Beamer, and will put his own stamp on this program, and most notably and most obvious will be the offensive structure and how they attack. It used to be I formation, running the football, featuring the tailback. Now it's more of what you see in college football in 16, which is a spread look.
Evans, a big fella, he'll keep it himself. He has the first down and a good pickup on third down. And this is one of the things that Justin told us he was still getting comfortable with how Gerard Evans likes to run the ball.
And he said he's still really learning what his strengths are. In a game, don't forget when you're watching him, he does have an ability to run the ball, and he's a big guy, 6'3", 235 pounds, 240 pounds.
The Hokies have picked up the first down of the night. They've moved it out from their own 10 to their own 27, I should say.
Tennessee showing man-to-man coverage. He looks over and gets a play that Justin Fuente helped him with to check out of.
A quick pass, quick completion. Ford has another grab, and he has a first down.
You had tight man coverage at the bottom. Justin Fuente helps the young quarterback Evans out with the softer coverage to the top, and he just makes a quick read and, again, get the ball out of his hands quickly and get the ball out to the edge.
Sam Rogers carrying it for a short gain. Those 2 catches by Ford, Kirk, he has 2 catches already tonight. He has at least 2 catches in every game he's played at Virginia Tech now in his junior season.
One of the more underrated wide receivers in college football. He's a good size, and if you look at the matchup tonight, he'll go up against Mosley, number 12, who he's just much bigger, but also a chance to go up against one of the top in the SEC right there, Cameron Sutton.
Sutton had a huge interception in the Appalachian State game. Moving the pocket for Evans, going to take a shot. He's got Ford down there, and Ford has it knocked away. If the ball had been out front, he might have scored, and Sutton was able to break it up at the last second.
Yeah, he did a good job of getting behind him, and watch this move right here. Sutton gets his eyes in the backfield and actually guesses on the outcut. He's in no man's land, but Evans early has an open man downfield, and he underthrows him. As you said, he had him beat by maybe 3 steps. Underthrew the long ball, and it gave Sutton a chance to come back and actually knock the ball away. Nice route there by Ford.
Now lay that up and let him run under it, and we have our first touchdown of the night. We'll be off to the races, so to speak. Delay to Rogers. Does he have the speed to get to the corner? That's a terrific run by Sam Rogers, noted as a fullback and a blocker, but he's an effective runner, too.
He does a real good job there in space. Reeves-Maben, who's one of the better linebackers and leaders of this team, number 21, had him well short of the first down, but he put his foot in the ground, cut back, against the grain and has a nose for that first down marker and picks it up. See, again, one of these offenses, they'll go fast, then they'll kind of give a decoy as they're going fast, look over, get confirmation, and adjust the play.
Trouble with the snap. Evans corrals it, and this is where it bears mentioning that Virginia Tech lost 4 fumbles a week ago. But in fact, these two teams didn't lose all of them, but between them, they put the ball on the ground 9 times in their opener, and that snap was just high. I think they wanted to get it to 4, but the timing was just all fouled up.
It's a little thing that you work on in practice over and over and over, repetition, 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 and sometimes you take something you take for granted. And you're right, so many different moving parts, guys coming in motion, that snap's a little high, and it throws off the timing, and now you're looking at 2nd and long.
Here goes Rodgers again. Rodgers gets the edge, or he's shoved out of bounds. He gets inside the 45-yard line. Much more manageable 3rd down. Another fine run by Sam Rodgers, the senior from Mechanicsville, Virginia.
It's Tennessee defense led by a new defensive coordinator this year, and Bob Shoup, who comes over from Penn State, where he's working for James Franklin. And he has an aggressive mindset, and he's got a lot of experience on this defense coming back. There's Derek Barnett jumping at the bottom. Reaction there by the right tackle McLaughlin, though. Interesting call here.
Offside. Defense, number 9. 5-yard penalty, 4 down.
Dan Capron making the call. Virginia Tech had been 2 for 2 on 3rd down, and this one they get a little help from Derek Barnett and pick up another 1st down. And the Hokies, who are worried as to whether they could run the football, they've mixed it up beautifully on this opening drive, and Butch Jones's team is a tad off balance as the Hokies have moved just inside the Big Orange 40. Evans gets rid of it and put it in harm's way. Bucky Hodges was the nearest guy to it, but really the 2 Tennessee defenders were closer.
You're really getting a feel for what this Virginia Tech offense is going to look like in this new era on this drive. I mean, you're seeing a lot of different things.
Eligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
You're seeing a lot of different formations, a lot of different plays. They're getting the ball outside. There's a bootleg. I mean, what it does is it affects the eyes of the defensive linemen and the linebackers because they don't know if the ball is going to go inside or outside, so they're very hesitant and unsure. Evans extending that play so long. That's what got McLaughlin downfield, but they declined the penalty anyway here.
Wanted to take the down rather than the penalty. McLaughlin was blocking. I'm not really sure as to why you would do that. They're not far away from field goal range. Option pitch. A little trouble with the pitch. And then C.J. Carroll couldn't corral it, and that had disaster written all over it, and the Hokies come away to tell about it. And Jonathan Kongbo was in there.
Did.
Junior college guy. They're really high on a guy that's still learning football. Yeah. And maybe that's why they declined it, because now they've got him in 3rd and long.
Yeah, exactly. Kongbo that time, you can see what everybody's excited about with his athletic ability off the edge of this defense. Big, he's 6'6", 270 pounds, and very quick.
Evans pulls it down and eludes a tackler. Evans inside the 35. Evans straining toward that 1st down line. He's going to be about a yard short. 4th down from the 30, but now Justin Fuente will have a decision to make, but they're also within field goal range too.
It's a great job by Evans keeping his play alive, but watch the diving by the Tennessee defense. He makes 2 guys miss. Nobody blocked him. I mean, he's a tough guy to tackle more because of his size, but he's very elusive. But you got to break down. It's 3rd and forever. You got to at least slow him down and not give him a chance to get to that 1st down marker.
Player down for Tennessee, as you see Fuente talking it over with Evans, and we were just talking a moment ago about Jonathan Kongbo, redshirt sophomore from Surrey, British Columbia, and they're working on Jonathan's right leg.
Coach is telling us he played basically 1 year of high school football. He's still just learning the game, but has such raw ability and size. Again, 6'6", 270, and explosive off the edge.
Yeah, and Bob Shoop believing that in time is good to see Kongbo up and walking off under his own power, that maybe in time he's going to move and be an inside guy.
I think he will. Too. I mean, you got Derek Barnett, you got LaTroy Lewis, you have Corey Vereen. I mean, they're loaded right now on the edge, and it wouldn't surprise me at all to see him get moved into the inside at some point.
Fuentes made his decision. Joey Sly comes on to attempt the field goal. It'll be a 47-yarder. His career long is 49. Muscular cat, he's got the range. See if he can put it through this time, and it is leaking a bit to the outside, and it is no good. And Tennessee turns away Virginia Tech. Hokies have a good opening drive, but no points to show for it. Back at the battle at Bristol, Virginia Tech and Tennessee. Hokies just had a 12-play drive that ended with a missed field goal, and now we'll get a chance to see Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah, the big thing for him tonight is patience. He's going to face a defense that is very stingy. It's going to be a yard, and then hit a big one. Other thing is creativity. He has great athletic ability, and the way Bud Foster has his defense attacking and playing man-to-man, he's going to have plenty of opportunities to not just make plays with his arm, but make some plays tonight with his feet as well.
Set a Tennessee record last year for a quarterback with 671 yards on the ground, but he had negative rushing yards against Appalachian State. First throw of the night, and there were Hokies all around him as a short completion. And Jawan Jennings making the first grab of the night. Second and long coming as we take a look at tonight's Chick-fil-A impact players.
They're going to go tempo here. You got to go quick. Hurd and Malone are their most explosive players. This defense gets Adonis Alexander back, which is going to be good. And the middle linebacker is key tonight as well.
Quarterback draws. Dobbs. It's up to the 35-yard line. Third and about 5.5 coming up.
Remember, this is an offense that struggled up front. And it's an understatement against Appalachian State. They were whipped in every aspect of the game. The quickness gave them problems. They've heard about it everywhere they have gone all week. The media, the talk shows, going to class, everywhere. You know they're determined to have a better game tonight.
Got to get it just across the 40. And he won't. Kenny Canham is there to sack Dobbs, and the Hokie defense forces a 3-and-out.
I mean, Canham has great suddenness, great quickness on the outside. Watch him just coming with the speed rush right up here. Just nothing fancy. He's got power, great low center of gravity, but it's the speed just going right around the freshman Richmond. He had no chance there to slow him down.
Richmond had a rough night against Appalachian State, too. He's a young left tackle, and Canham's been around for a while. He couldn't wipe the smile off Ken's face yesterday, saying he was so glad he didn't finish last year and got a chance to play in this. And now he's made a big play. And Stroman makes the fair catch just inside his own 40-yard line. The Hokies have it back and have good field position. Scoreless early going in Bristol.
Saturday Night Football, presented by Wells Fargo. Security, convenience, together. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far. And in part by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy. And Coca-Cola, taste the feeling.
Aerial coverage from Bristol tonight provided by Goodyear. Make every drive a touchdown with superior performance from Goodyear tires. Goodyear, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
From our booth, you look out and look at the 150,000 people. From our vantage point, they almost look like cardboard cutouts. Those are real people.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
This is the giant video board, which is suspended above the field by cables which are anchored outside the Bristol Motor Speedway. It's got a name. They call it Colossus. A little pop pass. He's got Rogers over the middle, and Evans with a beautiful throw over the top. You know, we've seen Kansas State use a similar play over the years, and Sam Rogers making an impact early.
Yeah, he came right out of the backfield, and with all the quarterback runs, the linebacker's eyes got caught up on Evans. Great time to call it.
Pick up a 30 as they try to go quickly. Sutton makes the play, and
See, the linebackers got caught up. They're trying to come up to make the tackle, what they thought would be a tackle on Evans. He just slides the fullback, who's a very valuable player in this offense. Sam Rogers, even last year, was the most versatile player on this offensive attack, and in this new offense, they still use him in a variety of different ways.
And that first down play after the 30-yard pickup, Sutton made a really good play on Bucky Hodges. And here's Hodges, who has the ball again. He was a tight end by trade. In this offense, they flexed him out a little bit. They found a lot of different ways to get a really exceptional athlete the ball. Big physical guy.
Yeah, that time they put him in the backfield almost like an inverted wishbone. Another different look and something for this Tennessee defense to have to adjust to.
Trayvon McMillan in the backfield. Hokies have converted 2 of 3 on 3rd down. Need to pick up about 8. Pressure from the outside from Barnett. Tech picks it up, and a strike is fired to Cam Phillips, and it's another first down for Virginia Tech.
They can rush the quarterback. You're going to see the receiver. He just kind of sinks and sits right in between the linebackers. They give him enough time. And give Evans a lot of credit. He knew that this defense was coming after him on 3rd down. He trusts his offensive line, and that time great execution again on 3rd down. They've done very well here early in this game on 3rd down. They're now 3 of 4.
Left tackle 69, Joshua Najm, did a great job on that last play as McMillan drives it inside the 15. Still straining for every possible inch.
Butch Jones and Bob Shoop knew that they'd give up some yards against these kind of offenses. You can't take everything away with an athletic quarterback in a spread attack, but they knew that when they got him into the red zone, they had to clamp down. They had to force field goals and not give up touchdowns.
Hokies with a 100-yard edge in the early going. McMillan. Tough run, and McMillan had 1,000 yards on the ground a year ago, and Fuente making him improve some pass protection to get a few more of those carries. And you see why he was talented enough to break the 1,000-yard mark as a freshman last year.
This offensive line from Virginia Tech also doing a good job in the trenches, helping the junior college transfer quarterback out.
Another 3rd down. Evans leaning, pushing, straining, and he's carrying Volunteers across the yellow line, and he appears to have a first down for Virginia Tech. If he does, it'll be 1st and goal, and that's what they're giving him.
He carried 2 Tennessee defenders 3 yards to pick up. He's down right there, short of the first down, but that determination and that leg strength ends up picking the 2 or 3 yards he needed to just pick up the first down.
The Hokies have come out and been the aggressor in the first few minutes. Evans into the flat. There's Rogers lowering the shoulder for the pylon. Touchdown, Hokies.
Do a great job again with this look. Nice job once again utilizing Sam Rogers' skills. Get him this time out in the flat. Remember the first pass on this drive, they slid him out of the backfield behind the linebackers. This time with the play action fake, it froze the linebackers, but they get him to the outside. And again, he is a great athlete. Watch him extend here and get right to the pylon and destroy the camera.
That thing's indestructible, man. It'll be back for more.
I'll tell you, Sam Rogers is a player. He was a former walk-on that earned a scholarship after 1 week of practice.
You wonder, you look at a guy who's just a football player, and how you can't always judge a guy by the measurables. We spent some time with Sam yesterday. He's not the biggest guy in the world. Got a ton of heart, ton of skill, and he has had a huge impact on this game in the first quarter. Hokies up by a touch.
Cassidy Hubbard with your Taco Bell studio update. Number 11 Texas taking on UTEP. Shane Buechele with the teardrop to Ja'Cory Ward, the true freshman quarterback. 12 to 15, 125 yards and 2 TDs in the first half. Reese Kirby, back to you.
All right, Cassidy, and boy, how impressive has Shane Buechele been in the early going. Here is the ultimate bird's eye view at Bristol Motor Speedway. That is inside the big video board Colossus. which is 96 feet off the ground. Oh, Marty Smith, our buddy, went up in it yesterday for college game day, and he didn't have a good time. He was ready to come back down.
He's not a fan of heights.
That's one of the best things you could do against Tennessee is kick it out of the end zone. Vols will take over 1st and 10. Kirk West touchdown.
Go back to the touchdown. I love that he put 2 receivers up here. And now you're going to get the corner, Cam Sutton, who's going to blitz. Leaves nobody out here, right? Now, it's same look, same action. Put the ball. Now, look at the linebacker's eyes. Look at the line. Here comes the corner. Going to slide Rodgers right here, right out into the flat. Linebackers freeze, eyes in the backfield. Gives him a chance to get the ball to the flat, and then he's got the speed to be able to get to the corner. But the linebackers and safeties, eyes in the backfield because of the success of the running game, froze them. But the 2 receivers at the top also helped open that play up.
And Gerard Evans 4 for 4 on that drive, also converted a 3rd down with his legs, and now Joshua Dobbs has an opportunity to answer. Dobbs flipping it out in the flat to the youngster Tyler Bird, a guy that Butch Jones is really excited about his potential. And the Vols are going to try to go with a little tempo.
Well, they need to. They need to not only go tempo to help their own offense. When you go tempo, it tends to slow down a defense. Remember, it's a new head coach with the same defensive coordinator with Bud Foster.
Bird picked up about 4. Now Jalen Hurd. He knocked down short of the 1st down. 3rd down coming.
And Bud Foster has been a defensive coordinator in Virginia Tech for a long time. Had one of the worst years last year as a coordinator because so many different injuries and he didn't have a lot of depth. They're anxious to come back this year and have a much better year.
Dobbs on 3rd down, firing, and it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Josh Malone, and that play looked discombobulated almost from the snap. Nigel Williams was back there rushing Dobbs.
Oh, yeah, the pass rush again. Oh my gosh, on 3rd down, if you're Josh Dobbs, you're holding on for dear life. I mean, the left side of the offensive line gets caved in again. Think about being Josh Dobbs and watch this pressure. He gets the ball off, but look what's closing in on him. Not only the defensive lineman, his own offensive lineman, Drew Richmond, the freshman. Welcome to college football, young man. I was going to say youngin.
Yeah. Hurd missed a block too. Tennessee has 6 yards on 6 plays. 2 possessions as Stroman makes the fair catch inside his own 25, and they only had 3 plays to try to figure out exactly how Virginia Tech is cutting them up, and they've been doing just that. Kick off your week 1 in the NFL, and NFL Sunday with ESPN. 10 a.m. Eastern Time, NFL Insider Sunday edition. All the injury news, fantasy updates, and so forth. Then at 11, the new Sunday NFL Countdown. Chris Berman, Trent Dilfer, Charles Woodson, Matt Hasselbeck, and Randy Moss will take you right up to kickoff. Both shows, as all of our shows are, streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
Josh Dobbs, a leader, a guy who's played a lot of football. This is the same thing that happened against Appalachian State. And we heard about, well, it was an odd front. They were slanting and angling. They were quick and small. Whatever it is, it's happening again tonight.
Quick slant complete. Cam Phillips has another catch. Good pickup on 1st down, Sam.
Reese, Steve Stripling, defensive line coach at Tennessee, very upset with the lack of physicality from his defense, specifically telling his guys, you have to be more physical on those tight ends. It's just not enough. They were challenged in that way against App State. Let's see how they respond.
Sam, they're losing the battle at the line of scrimmage in this 1st quarter on both sides of the ball. It's evident, especially with that defense out there.
2nd down and 2. McMillan bounces to the outside, running room for Trayvon McMillan. He's in Tennessee territory. McMillan is still on his feet. He'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. "69 yards. It was as if someone just waved a green flag and he mashed the gas, baby.
How about the breakaway speed by McMillan to leave Todd Kelly and get to that end zone? Had a nice block on the edge there by the receiver, Isaiah Ford.
After a couple of methodical drives, one resulting in a touchdown, one resulting in no points, now the Hokies show them the quick strike offense.
He had great vision here. The play designed to go to the right. He ends up seeing the crease to the backside. There's the block by Ford. There's nobody left. There's got to be a linebacker. Where's the safety? Todd Kelly right there. He's getting left. McMillan showing that he's got big-time speed in the open field.
Hokie, 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 high. Tech, VPI. They're doing all of the chants. Those Hokie Stone uniforms are working just fine. As Trayvon McMillan just ripped off a 69-yard run to the house. And Virginia Tech is owning the first quarter against Tennessee. 14-0. Weren't the Hokies worried about trying to find a way to run the ball? They've moved it in a variety of ways, and Evan Berry will have no chance to return it.
Yeah, let's go back to the touchdown here. You're going to see Nijman, actually, the left tackle, does a great job of a seal right here. And Ford comes in also. The corner follows him, and he just pushes him into the interior, and there's nobody left. I'm shocked that a linebacker and a safety, Kelly, not with better pursuit angle and the speed to be able to slow him down. Look at the seal block there. Nice block by Ford, and there's nobody left down that left boundary to stop him from picking up a touchdown.
As McMillan catches his breath, Tennessee comes out down by double digits for the second straight game. Down 13-3 to Appalachian State. Jalen Hurd running and driving his feet and carrying people and just shedding Hokies along the way.
I was just about to say, you're down 14. The first game of the season couldn't have gone any worse. Who's going to step up and show they have some heart and some leadership and they want to compete? Looks like Jalen Hurd does.
Nothing doing this time as Kenny Cannon's right there to put Hurd on the turf.
Well, he is a good football player and he is having a night. Drew Richmond, the left tackle, is having a long night. Left tackle 51 is up against it tonight.
Hurd on second down, and Andrew Matua-Pawaka makes his first tackle of the night. A veteran guy running this Bud Foster defense.
I talked earlier about how Bud Foster's defense allowed 181 yards last year. It's the highest since 1987 for a Virginia Tech defense. You think they had a long off season? You think they wanted to get back on the field and show the guys that played on that field last year that they're better than that?
Third down and 8, and Tennessee desperately needs to keep the ball. Pressure on Dobbs. Flag comes down. It looks as if it might be a hold, but Matua-Pawaka doesn't let Dobbs get to the first down line anyway.
Wait till you see. This is actually a tackle. This isn't a hold. This is a WWE takedown. Coleman Thomas, if you can't block him, just body slam him.
Holding offense, number 55. The penalty is declined. Fourth down.
Is this what it's come down to on third down for Tennessee? Watch 55, the center. And he had a long game against Appalachian State. If you can't block him, this is a good move you can maybe try. Body slam right in front of the referee. The third down is becoming a down where they're going to have to run quarterback draw and just deal with the pressure and hope that Dobbs can make plays. Because they can't protect him. He doesn't have a chance.
That's the thing right now, Kirk, is this is already, as early as it is, danger time for Tennessee because it's tough to have any kind of rally if you can't get any protection or consistently open any holes. Stroman's going to let it hit, and everything's bouncing Virginia Tech's way. It goes into the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20s. We check in with Cassidy Hubbard.
Thanks, Reese. Taco Bell Studio update. BYU and Utah in the Holy War, and Taysom Hill with a 39-yard rushing touchdown to give his Cougars a 13-7 lead. Reese, Herbie, back to you guys.
Cassidy, BYU's lost 5 straight against Utah, including one in the Vegas Bowl last year. They'd like to turn that around for their new head coach, Galani Sataki, and Josh Dobbs just wants to get this game turned around for the Big Orange.
I know he's got great poise and he's a veteran. At some point, he's going to have to lose it on the sideline and go after that offensive line. He is a cerebral guy. He's got poise, but he's got to really lay into him.
Evans, quarterback draw, and Tennessee's not having it. No gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Jalen Reeves-Maben on the stop.
If you're Virginia Tech, it's same old, same old. This thing has worked to perfection. Different formations, spreading Tennessee out, a lot of different looks, play action looks. They're running the quarterback, they're running the backs. It's opening up play action for them. Here comes Tennessee with some pressure.
Moves the pocket. Evans has his man. It's Bucky Hodges, and Hodges, with a nifty move over the top of Sutton, gets the 1st down.
I never understand why you bring pressure, it's picked up, and then you have soft coverage behind it. Once it's picked up, and I know you're trying to confuse a quarterback who hasn't had a lot of snaps at this level, but boy, oh boy, that's a big cushion and an easy throw there for Evans.
Final minute of the 1st quarter here. And look, I think everybody respected Virginia Tech as they work on LaTroy Lewis. But Tennessee is a team that was highly regarded, 17 starters back from a year ago. And they come back, and in the first 2 weeks, I mean, you dismissed last Thursday night, a week ago Thursday, against Appalachian State, and maybe just not being as engaged as they should have been. They were supposedly engaged tonight, and it's a long game. Yeah. Nobody's writing them off. They haven't been able to do anything on offense.
Look at the numbers. I mean, look at these numbers. You have 2 passing yards. They can't run the football. I think you've got to get back to running the football. Pass protection is not a strength of this offensive line. Running the ball with Jalen Hurd and running the ball with Josh Dobbs is something that you have to feel you can do. And if you can do that, that can set up some passing opportunities where it's more play action. You pass the ball under your terms, not when you're back at 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 7, where your offensive line just doesn't have a chance so far.
Evans flicks it. Well covered receiver. He was looking for his tight end, Chris Cunningham.
It does make you scratch your head, because this offensive line for these guys played a lot of football last year, and they played and competed and did very well. They won 9 games, and this was not a reoccurring theme for these guys last year. I mean, there were a lot of people excited about what this offense had in store this year because of what was returning.
Kirk, they ran for more than 2,900 yards.
They're second in the SEC.
Yeah. And meanwhile, McMillan just keeps running wild, although I think we have Laundry on the field. And 18 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter. Let's see what the call is.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Offense, number 57. 15-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And caught Wyatt Teller for the illegal block. Virginia Tech, because of the pace at which they want to run, and they feel like a lot of their offensive linemen are all not only serviceable but interchangeable. Teller getting some time in there, but he picks up the penalty.
It's a pretty good thing when your coach tells us we have 10 or 11 guys we feel pretty good about. Maybe Tennessee can make a trade at halftime and get some of those linemen.
Well, the 1st quarter could not have possibly gone better for Gerard Evans and the Hokies. 2 touchdowns and another drive that almost resulted in points. And Fuentes played 15 minutes, and he's up by 2 touchdowns, and he's still pushing. That's the end of the 1st quarter here in Bristol. We'll be back right after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Welcome back to the Pilot Flying J Battle at Bristol. It's presented on ABC by Wells Fargo, and they call it the Battle at Bristol, but it's been a one-sided punch fest so far. Virginia Tech has been punching, and Tennessee's been taking it right in the jaw. 14-0. Virginia Tech owned the first 15 minutes of play. We're going to hear from Samantha Ponder in a minute. That's Sharon Jones, a backup quarterback. It's not that he's about to go into the game, but he might have had a little bit of an impact on it. As the Hokies have it to start the 2nd quarter, 2nd and 25. They put the ball on the ground. This is a break Tennessee needs if they can get it, and they do. It's the 2nd time that Virginia Tech has had trouble handling it tonight, and Tennessee needed a break. And another fumble gives them one. The Hokies lost 4 fumbles in their opener against Liberty.
Yeah, I think that was really more about the timing. The snap wasn't terrible. Carroll coming in motion. Actually, the timing of the snap is what affected that. I don't know if that's on the snap or on Carroll or on the quarterback for sending him late, but that's what happened, and Tennessee catches a break. Their defense had their eyes on the football. They pounce on it, and maybe this is what Tennessee needs, not just great field position, but to get them into the football game with some emotion.
There's Micah Abernathy that got the ball, and now Dobbs throwing to the end zone, goes up top. It's a touchdown. Jawan Jennings outfights Greg Stroman for it, and the Vols are on the board.
Welcome to the 2016 season, Tennessee Vols. First ounce of emotion we've seen from them in 2 games. They take advantage of it. Up 6'3", 205 pounds. He's able to go up and make a play. And Stroman's a talented player, but at 5'11", it's a lot tougher to go up and make that play. He actually fights for it all the way down. Tries to steal the ball away, but clearly a touchdown by Jennings, and a nice throw there by Josh Dobbs. Put it up there where Jennings can make a play.
Jennings, some will tell you, he's the toughest guy on their football team. Mike DeBoer, their offensive coordinator, said they needed to win some 50-50 balls. So you want to see a little emotion on the sideline, do you?
Right there.
Seen plenty of it so far, at least in the last couple of plays. Tennessee's back in it at 14-7.
Cassidy Hubbard with your Dr. Pepper Championship Drive update. Some interesting things happening with LSU trailing Jacksonville State 3-0. Brandon Harris benched in the second quarter. Purdue transfer Danny Etling in at QB connects with Deshaun Smith for the 46-yard touchdown. The extra point was blocked. Reminder, no Leonard Fournette in this game, out with that ankle injury. This one over on ESPNU. Reese, Herbie.
All right, Cassidy, so Fournette not playing, took that big hit at the end of the Wisconsin game. LSU making a quarterback change, and Tennessee has made a bit of an attitude change here early in the second quarter. A lot of energy on the Volunteers sideline now after the turnover and the touchdown pass. Dobbs to Jennings. And so, Sam, tell us exactly what happened down on the Tennessee sideline not long ago.
The catalyst to that change in energy was the least likely of players. It was a backup quarterback, Sharon Jones, who isn't even on the 2 deep, coming up to the O-line and saying, y'all promised us you wouldn't do this. You promised us, saying, I believe in you. But he got so fired up that some of the O-linemen had to hold him back. Things were getting chippy down here. Then, of course, the fumble happens and everybody's friends again, Reese.
Well, you know, what's interesting, Sam, is I love his emotion. I love his passion. He's not going to make a play. I don't care if it's a trainer. Somebody show some emotion down there. And Bob Shoup, the defensive coordinator, may want to call my man Jones on Monday and have him line up at safety. I love that attitude.
Swing by the office, Sharon.
Yeah.
I've got some coverages I need to show you. Blitzes. Virginia Tech back to Trayvon McMillan, and it's not just the Tennessee sideline. Some advice of Marty Smith going on in the Virginia Tech sideline too.
Reese, just after that last fumble by the Virginia Tech Hokies, Michael Vick, Virginia Tech legend, walked over to quarterback Gerard Evans and started motioning to him and yelling to him. I walked over to Vick and asked him what he said, and he said he just told Evans, back up. You're too close to the line of scrimmage, so he can't process the motion man, the snap, and everything going on the periphery at once. So he told Evans to back up some from the line of scrimmage.
Darren Kirkland, it didn't matter how far behind the line of scrimmage he was. Kirkland came in there like a shot.
But
he was all over.
He walked up into the line of scrimmage and nobody picked him up. He just shot a gap. They overloaded that side with defensive linemen. There was nobody there to pick up the middle linebacker, Darren Kirkland, who's a very instinctive player, but that time with his speed, that was an easy play for him.
Well, now 3rd down and 6 for Virginia Tech.
You got man-to-man across the board there.
Evans throwing it up, going to let his man try to make a play. There was a lot of contact over there, and the flags fly in. Justin Martin was all over Bucky Hodges, and pass interference almost certainly coming.
Yeah. Martin, we talk about this, corners have a hard time in college locating the football. They don't trust it. They don't get their head turned around. Watch 8. Watch his head. You tell me if he turns around and looks for the football. never turned around to look for the football, and if you're going to have contact and not turn your head around, you're going to get a pass interference call. Look at his head, and look at the contact. Pass interference.
Hodge is such a big target on the outside. He had 5 or 6 inches at least on Martin. Virginia Tech picks up a first down for the second time tonight with the help of a Tennessee penalty.
Hodges at 6'7" and Ford at 6'2", almost 6'3". These are matchups they want to give that, put it up in the air on a fade and give them a chance to make a play.
It's another way too that they can keep things pretty simple for Gerard Evans in the early going. Get that type of coverage, man coverage, give your big receivers, throw it, throw it.
If you're an inexperienced quarterback, you much rather see more man-to-man. It's more like backyard football. Zone, now you got to try to start to figure some things out and make some reads.
Another first down for Virginia Tech. Tennessee had a little momentum. Vols showing a little pressure off the edge, and here it comes back to the ground. McMillan squirts through. McMillan drives his feet and gets up close to midfield.
I love to see the fundamentals from Virginia Tech's offense. They do all the little things right in this game so far. The running backs are running with effort and purpose. Quarterbacks making good decisions for the most part. They've had a couple times they put it on the ground. The linemen are executing up front.
More pressure coming from Tennessee. McMillan very patiently didn't rush up into the line, found the little crease, and gets very close to first down yardage.
He's had a heck of a night. Obviously the big run helped him, but it's almost already to 100 yards here in this first half.
The 69-yard touchdown run, 7 carries for 97 yards. Then we had 39 yards in the opener against Liberty. I don't know what play Mo from the Three Stooges is, but let's see how it works out.
Look at Rodgers up tight.
To the ground, Tennessee greets McMillan in the backfield, and he won't make it to the first down.
Now that was impressive from Tennessee on the get-off. Defensive line ate up the blocks, and the linebackers coming downhill. Reeves-Maben does a good job inside. He just shot the gap, but the lineman started it by getting off the ball quicker than the offensive lineman. Reeves-Maben and Kirkland cleaned it up.
Sean Golden in there as well. Now Mitchell Ludwig comes on to punt it away for the Hokies, and the dangerous Cameron Sutton, who led the SEC and was 4th in the country, averaging nearly 19 yards for punt return a year ago, is set to receive it. He signals for the fair catch, and he makes it at the 10. So the Volunteers get the big stop on third down, and Tennessee has it back when you come back.
Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. Brought to you by Pilot Flying J, serving drivers with over 650 locations nationwide. Pacific Life, helping generations of families achieve long-term financial security for over 145 years. And Ford, we go further so you can.
Bristol Motor Speedway steeped in racing history, but tonight a record college football crowd as you're seeing spectacular aerial coverage from Thunder Valley provided by Goodyear. Long drive demands superior performance on the road. Goodyear, official sponsor of the college football playoff. See those race cars still around this concrete half-mile oval, the world's fastest half-mile. Tennessee about a half-mile away from the end zone. They have the ball back, only 33 yards of offense so far from their own 10. And Jalen Hurd has been running with some attitude, trying to get the Vol offense going. Good blocking up front. Hurd picks up 5, maybe 6.
Should mention they've taken out Coleman Thomas in the middle and moved Dylan Wiseman, the right guard, into center, and they brought up Jack Jones, the backup right guard, now into the game.
Well, they told us after the way Thomas struggled in the opener against Appalachian State, they still believed in him. But look, you know, at some point you have to produce at this level, and Tennessee needed to make a change. Quarterback draw. Dobbs bounces off one tackler, has a first down. Dobbs still on his feet, tiptoeing along the sideline into Hokie territory before he's finally shoved out by Chuck Clark in the biggest play of the night for Tennessee offensively.
Middle linebacker Matua Pawaka, 54, watching. He's got a chance to make the play right there, but Dobbs gives him a stiff arm, and now he's got a convoy. Good blocking downfield, actually great effort there to stay in bounds.
A 40-yard run. Hurd driving through the middle of that Hokie defense, gets inside the 40.
It's amazing. You pick up a big run, and all of a sudden you start to go back to your basic offense, and now instead of 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 12, now it's 2nd and 4.
And Dobbs didn't have much of a night running against Appalachian State, and that has been his strong suit. We mentioned that he set a rushing record for Tennessee quarterbacks last year with 671 yards. There's a little movement from Jason Kroom. Got away with it. Dobbs going up top, looking for a man out there. Does he have it? He does. Josh Malone beats Stroman, and Tennessee goes 90 yards in a heartbeat, and they're 1 point away from tying it.
But they loaded the box here at the line of scrimmage. You can see, look how many people are here. Creates a one-on-one opportunity at the top. Load the box. Dobbs has time to throw. It's amazing if you give him time to throw. He puts it up, and Josh Malone does what he did last week. Locates the football, comes back and makes the play. And Greg Stroman, I don't think really ever had a chance. Never saw the ball until it was already in the hands of Malone for the touchdown.
So how about Dobbs on that drive? They go 90 yards. He had a 40-yard run, the 38-yard touchdown strike. And in 99 seconds, Tennessee's tied it up. They were floundering around, not much going on, and now the Big Orange alive and making ball plays. 2 touchdowns in 5 minutes, and we're dead even. Monday Night Football is back, the annual doubleheader to cap off week 1 at 6:55 Eastern Time. Steelers and Redskins 10:15. It'll be the 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. Coverage begins Monday Night Countdown, 5 Eastern on ESPN. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
Still getting used to that. Los Angeles Rams. I watched Hard Knocks. I was into that.
Yeah.
But I'm fired up for football, ready to go with the NFL. College is a given.
Yeah. You know, I think it kind of goes back to the old days. We have to get reacquainted with the Los Angeles Rams. Stroman, who just got beat for the touchdown, brings it out and probably wishes he didn't. Stop short of the 15. We'll check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Reese. And obviously, no one will probably ever have a bigger impact on Hokie football than this guy, former head coach Frank Beamer. And, Coach, I know you're not on the sidelines, but Coach is always Coach. Give me your impressions of what you're seeing from your Hokies so far.
Well, early on, I thought we were a little bit better than them up front on both sides of the ball, and I think Tennessee's gathered himself a little bit. It shows you what a quarterback that can run and throw. They're just tough to defend. We had a couple, Michael Vick and Tyrod Taylor and Brian Randall, but I think their quarterbacks made a couple of good plays. We had the last pass covered. Stroman just he got out height. The guy was a tall receiver and just went right over Stroman.
You were a big supporter of this game being played years ago when it was being planned. Now that this night is here, what does this night do, not just for Tennessee and Virginia Tech, but for college football?
Well, this is a setting I've never seen before, and I think to play in a unique game like this, 2 great fan bases, 2 great programs. Blacksburg's about the same distance from Bristol as Knoxville, and it's just a natural. I mean, it's just a natural game, and I'm hoping we're going to see more Tennessee, Virginia Tech football games because I think it's good for both areas, and it's great for this area right here.
Coach, thank you so much, and thanks for all you did for college football. Great to have you here tonight.
Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
Reese?
Jerry, Frank, thank you very much. The last penalty was a false start against Shy McKenzie into the game in the Virginia Tech backfield. The Hokies back up 5. They have the ball inside their 15, looking at 2nd and 8. Evans, off the deflection, went off of Cam Phillips' hand and very nearly intercepted by Tennessee.
College football is a game of emotion and momentum, and it shifts from one side to the other. And from up here in another county, from up here looking down at that field, from what I could see, it feels like momentum has switched drastically from Virginia Tech to, after the fumble, completely on the side of the Vols.
I would concur. See if the momentum can shift again. The screen set up beautifully. McMillan, can he get to the first down marker? And I think maybe with that last effort, let's see exactly where they said his knee went down. There is a flag on the field. And it looks as if they're giving him plenty of yardage to get the first down, but we have to wait and see what the penalty was. This is a Big Ten officiating crew.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Offense, number 57.
That's 2 of those tonight.
Half the distance to the goal. 3rd down.
There's 2 of those tonight, if memory serves, both of them coming against Wyatt Teller.
We have Dave Kataya up here, who travels with us every week and does a great job. Dave, what do you see there from Teller?
Well, the issue is the ball left the zone. Once the ball left the zone, the only way you can block is from the front, not from the sides. That's what the call was.
He's right out in the open, right in front of the runner or the receiver.
That one's a little tougher to get, Dave, than the occasional end-time down like we saw at Oklahoma State today. Oh, not funny to Oklahoma State. Central Michigan will take it, I'm sure, if you didn't see that. They're standing, the guys will get you caught up at halftime. 3rd down and 14. Run the draw to McMillan. He picks up a few, and Tennessee's going to force a punt. Big Orange feeling it right now as Darren Kirkland, their fine linebacker, makes the play.
It is incredible. You go back to the fumble, the fade for a touchdown, all of a sudden some energy, a big run by Josh Dobbs, the fade where the big throw into the end zone where Malone makes a catch, and now it's incredible how much better you can play defensively when you bounce around with a little bit of attitude.
And you always have to be careful of the Tennessee return game with Sutton, but he clears out of the way. Sutton returned a couple for touchdowns last year. And let's see where they're going to spot this ball.
That ball.
Oh, it hit a Tennessee player.
Yeah, when the ball.
Yeah, so it's like a rugby punt.
The kick was first touched by the receiving team, recovered by the receiving team. 1st down.
Okay, so once it touched the Tennessee player, Vols had to get on it, right, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, the ball bounces off a Tennessee player right there off of his foot. It was one of those rugby-style kick or punts that didn't have a whole lot of height. It just ended up bouncing off of the Tennessee player and gave him great field position.
Okay, so it turns out the end of it, after it hit off Malik Foreman and Tennessee alertly got on it, was an 11-yard punt, and Tennessee has it inside the 25. Hurd looking for room, slips a couple of tackles, picks up 1 or maybe 2.
This Tennessee offense started slow. Their offensive line has struggled in pass protection. They still, other than that fade, that long pass, they haven't done a lot, but they have scored touchdowns the last 2 times that they've had the football here.
They haven't gone minus 55. Yeah, they may go plus 7 points if they can make this connection. Another throwing up and hoping that Jason Kroom could make the play. Kroom, who moved to a wide receiver position. He's played some tight end in the past.
Butch Jones told us this week that the biggest challenge for his team was patience. Against this style of defense, you're gonna lose some yards, you're gonna have short gains, and then you're gonna have an opportunity for an explosive play. They've hit 2 explosives so far. That's exactly what he's talking about. They're gonna have more opportunities. They've got to win one-on-one on the outside with their receivers matched up against the corners.
Dobbs gets away from the pressure, directing traffic, and he threw it into traffic. And now let's see, did the ball hit the ground before? No, they're calling incomplete pass. After the deflection, there's a flag down on the field too.
I'm surprised to see Josh Dobbs do this. He just hasn't done this throughout his career. I know he's trying to make a play, throwing back into coverage.
You know, Matua Puwaka may get hit for going to the head there.
The pass was incomplete. Personal foul. Roughing a passer. Defense. Number 54. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
So a tough penalty for Bud Foster.
Looks like he came in high, right, on the replay.
Yeah, he goes right to the face there. You're gonna get that call every time. Just not a smart play by Matua Puwaka, but Tennessee has given Virginia Tech a couple first downs, and now the Hokies returning the favor.
Yeah, they catch a break there, but again, the decision making by Dobbs, he's got to make good decisions. Obviously, with the football and with his experience, surprising to see him do that.
And we have movement on the right side and confusion over the snap count.
Virginia Tech bouncing around a lot.
False start. Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Brett Kendrick backing them up 5.
The one area that Butch Jones feels he's still growing as a program is the depth on that offensive line. Through the 2.5 years of recruiting, you're going to see them continue to really go out and try to find big-time offensive linemen. You can tell tonight.
Hurd getting behind his pads, getting down to about the 13-yard line. Ricky Walker, Tim Settle among those on the stop is Alvin Kamara. Dangerous guy on the outside, number 6. We haven't really called Alvin's name tonight for Tennessee. They want to get him 10+ touches, either by running, usually on the perimeter, or throwing it to him. See if he's a target on 2nd and 11. And he is. Kamara on the corner. He's on the perimeter, but now he's down. Outstanding open field tackle by Mook Reynolds.
Now there was a missed block here by the receiver, Josh Smith. Watch Reynolds get around him. There's the effort there by Josh Smith, but Reynolds with great athletic ability. It's always fun to see those hybrid outside linebacker, nickelback type guys asked to make tackles out in space. That time he didn't hesitate, closed that cushion up and made a heck of a play.
And Reynolds weighs about 185 pounds. You see some smaller, faster guys playing those positions now. Because of the nature of the offense. Dobbs getting heat. Chase gets away. Dobbs now throwing back into the middle of the field. That's dangerous, but he threw it right to the back of the end zone as Tyler Bird was out of bounds. Good coverage by the Hokies. If you are going to do that, putting it up high in the back of the end zone is about the best you can hope for.
But what's tough on Josh Dobbs is they rushed 3 there and they got in. I mean, he got the shotgun snap. They rushed 3. He had about maybe 2 seconds until that pass rush got in there, led by Kenny Canham. He got 8 in coverage, only rushing 3.
Aaron Medley's on to attempt the field goal. It's a 34-yarder, and he's been terrific from inside the 40 in his career. 37 of 41, and this to give Tennessee the lead. A rocky start for Rocky Top, but now the Vols are back on top. 17-14 late in the second. Tennessee's just taken a 17-14 lead here in the second quarter. Pilot Flying J battle at Bristol. Volunteers ranked 17th in the country, fell behind 14-0, and now they have the lead as we're at Bristol Motor Speedway tonight. Herbie, this is our view. Powerful binoculars and nice big screens are helpful, including Colossus. You know, when we first came up here to check it out, when we arrived in Bristol, I know what a big fan of the movie Zoolander you are. And I was looking, I said, what is this, a football field for ants? You know,
right.
Long way away.
It just looks so small from up here.
You do love Zoolander, don't you?
There was one?
2 of them, actually. 150,000 people at least expected here tonight for this game, and that brings us to tonight's Aflac trivia question. The crowd, 150,000 or whatever it is in that neighborhood, will exceed the entire 2015 home attendance for how many FBS schools? It's multiple choice, 1 to 15, 16 to 25, 26 to 39, or 40 or more. You have a guess? 150,000 total home attendance for the year. More here, the world's fastest half mile for this game tonight, than the entire home attendance of how many FBS schools?
I'll say B.
Give you a little time here at home to guess. Option pitch. Boy, Evans took a big shot, but McMillan has running room. There's a flag down. McMillan gets up to the 45.
It was a great job by Evans getting that ball out.
Hit delivered by Rashawn Gaulding.
Yeah, he knows it's coming, and you kind of sink and you just go limp and just let him knock you out. But you got to get the ball out. You got to be ready. You work on that every day with option technique. He knows he's going to get drilled, puts the ball right on the money to McMillan. Got hit high too.
Yep. Shoulder to shoulder though, I think.
Yeah.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 85 of the offense. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense. Those penalties offset. Repeat first down.
Well, even though the penalty's offset, it is much more costly to Virginia Tech. Works out pretty well for Tennessee because that was a big gain by Trayvon McMillan.
It sure was. Like I said, it was a nice job by the quarterback Evans, who, again, it's still in the first half of this game, but he's 10 of 14, 97 yards, has a touchdown, but he's kind of managing things and doing a pretty good job for the most part. We will say that the fumble turned the complexion of the game. Self-destructing on that one play, it really changed the game around.
They only lost 7 fumbles all of last season. They've already lost 5 this year, losing 4 against Liberty, and then the 1 tonight as Bucky Hodges carries the ball.
A lot of that has to do with you're running a riskier offense. So you're not as conservative, not as vanilla. They're opening things up and taking a few more risks. Comes that blitz again.
Evans gets rid of it just in time, throws it away. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Sam, what do you have for us?
Reese, the change in momentum on this Virginia Tech sideline has been drastic. It felt like a party for most of the game. Now it's been silent. During that last drive, Justin Fuente gathered his entire offense around and said, you should be confident. I could hear every word. It was so silent. He said, you've seen how you can run on this team. At this point, it's just about execution, and you've got to decide.
There's a couple of the mistakes, Sam, that have really hurt. Virginia Tech's outgained Tennessee by more than 100 yards, but they're going to have to give it back to the Vols inside 5 minutes to go. That Tennessee defense is alive, and Danny O'Brien, a 5th-year senior out of Flint, Michigan, was first one to get there.
Danny O'Brien gets the play, but Derek Barnett at the top of your screen, his quickness forced him to cut underneath where the penetration from Danny O'Brien was able to clean the play up. But first time we've really called Derek Barnett, who is the alpha, the leader of this defense.
Ludwig gets a foot to it. Now let's see what Sutton has. Give a little ground to try to get some back. Sutton's got running room. Across the 40. And Cameron Sutton is electrifying. Anthony Shigog able to get him on the ground. You just hold your breath when that guy touches in. Just a 14-yard return. Time now for the answer to tonight's Aflac trivia question. You said B, 16 to 25.
Yeah. What is it?
150,000 at least expected tonight. 41 of the 128 FBS schools, the crowd in attendance tonight will exceed, or did exceed, their entire home attendance from a year ago.
Wow, that's incredible.
I think it gives you a little perspective as to the magnitude of this event. And their money's worth so far. Here's Alvin Kamara, and Kamara getting up close to the first down yardage before Matua Pawaka puts him down.
Somebody said there's another 100,000 outside, too, outside of the stadium.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there are RVs as far as the eye can see, almost terraced RV parks behind us. Talked to several people this afternoon. They're not getting out of here tonight, so they're perfectly happy to just set up camp. It's been a festive atmosphere from the time we got here on Thursday. Quick pass, Josh Malone getting to about the 41-yard line of Virginia Tech, getting close to 3 minutes to go in the first half. Adonis Alexander making the stop.
That's the RPO. Yeah, there's the look on the outside. These campers, literally, they've been here since, well, we got here Thursday. They've been here since Thursday, maybe earlier. That last play, you hear the term RPO, run pass option. Quarterback looks at the receivers and the amount of defenders in that box area, makes a decision.
Dobbs with the quarterback draw, and he got knocked rear end over tea kettle by Chuck Clark. And the run pass options are designed to make a certain defender wrong every time, right?
Yeah, the quarterback looks out and he sees if you're overcommitted to stopping the run, they'll throw it real quick on the outside on a pass. And if you're out wide on the pass, then they're going to run. Sometimes run the quarterback, sometimes run the running back. But it's all based on the numbers between the tackles and in that boxed area.
Hurd running through tackles, first down and more. Jalen Hurd upended, but not until he gets down close to the red zone. Faison makes the tackle, but the Big Orange is on the move again.
Yeah, that's more Tennessee football. You'll see a safety, Edmonds, come up. Actually, he already left him behind. He goes up, tries to actually jump Faison, but this is an offense now that's starting to look like the 2015 offense.
Hurd running again. He picks up 4 and 5, and Chuck Clark, the free safety for the Hokies, was hurting.
We talked earlier when they were struggling about, yeah, he is. He may want to have to check himself out. We talked earlier about throwing the ball on their terms. You run the ball with Hurd and you run the ball with Kamara and Dobbs, you can do that.
Running it with Kamara. Kamara slipping down close to first down yardage. Going to be 3rd and short.
Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator, things are really going his way early. They're winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. That has not been the case here these last 2 or 3 series. Now one of his players is down at the 10-yard line.
And down is, it's number 8, Nigel Williams, and they're helping Nigel to his feet. You know, Bud Foster was here throughout the Frank Beamer era. It was assumed in many quarters that Bud would be the successor and become the head coach. That was not the choice Virginia Tech made, but one thing that was important to the brass at Virginia Tech was to give Bud the opportunity, if Justin Fuente wanted to keep him, to let him stay as defensive coordinator, and Fuente was all for it, and it's worked out very well in terms of the working relationship so far.
Yeah, he said he looked at the opportunity as I get to be the head coach at Virginia Tech and I get to keep Bud Foster as defensive coordinator. He's like, sign me up. Bud has quite a reputation in the coaching fraternity over the years as being one of the better minds. That's a big loss. We'll see if Williams can come back in. He has had a big night in the interior of that defensive line.
The Volunteers have picked up a first down, and they have 1st and goal from just inside the 10. There's Hurd now inside the 5, and Tennessee starting to assert its will.
Yeah, they have a rhythm now to their offense, and the combination of those 2 backs with Hurd and Kamara is really, really nice. Makes it tough on a D.
This time, good penetration from the Hokie front. Jalen Hurd knocked down by Tim Settle.
Tim Settle just splitting a gap there. Settle comes in for Williams and right away makes a play. A highly recruited player coming out of high school. Dropped 30 pounds to get ready for this year. A lot quicker. You just saw it right there.
Inside a minute to go. Tennessee is yet to convert a 3rd down.
That's a fade at the bottom.
Quarterback draw instead. Dobbs 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as they say in Tennessee, give him 6. .23 likely to be about 24 consecutive points Tennessee is awakened. .39 ticks remaining in the first half, and the Vols about to drop a 24 spot on the Hokies just in the second quarter. The kick is true, and Tennessee has a double-digit lead.
Here's some emotion from Butch Jones. He's fired up. He's sensing this momentum swing that we've seen here these last 3 possessions. Remember we talked about Coleman Thomas being taken out the center. He is now back in and does a nice job here of being able to pick up a block to free up Josh Dobbs. They spread him out with the formation, and Thomas gets just enough, but it was the formation that opened up the middle to give the athletic Dobbs a chance. And again, because of his natural running ability, that is a great call to spread out a defense and let him use his vision. And he's going to either follow Jalen Hurd to the left or his big center that time, Coleman Thomas, and he elected to go with Thomas off to the right. And there weren't any other defenders there because they had to spread themselves out with the receivers from Tennessee.
Vols did nothing in their first 3 possessions. Their last 4, which started with a big Virginia Tech turnover, and momentum swung at that particular moment, and Tennessee seized it and has not relinquished it for the remainder of the second quarter. Dick will come down to Stroman inside his 5. Stroman still on his feet, has a little alley, but Tennessee has the support there. The kicker Aaron Medley was there to push him out of bounds. So 33 ticks remaining to see if the Hokies can get more on the board. Stay tuned for the BMW halftime report. Stan Verrett, Mark May, and Mac Brown. Scores and highlights coming up from this Saturday. The controversial and electrifying finish in Stillwater between Central Michigan and Oklahoma State. Play that should not have been run, an officiating error, but it let the Chippewas come out of Stillwater with a win. LSU's made a quarterback change, we're told. Arkansas and TCU locked up in a good one. Stan, Mark, and Mac will get you all squared away as Trayvon McMillan comes over the 35, and Virginia Tech, he was going to regroup a little bit at halftime.
Now, the adjustments in the second half are going to be very interesting. We saw Jimbo Fisher on Monday night do such a great job in that second half against Ole Miss. And now these 2 coaches and their staffs will have a chance to go back to the drawing board and see what they learned and see what kind of adjustments they're going to try to make. Because this game is still a long way to go.
And Tennessee going to get it first in the second half. All the momentum on their side, 24-14. That's the end of the first half here in Bristol. BMW halftime report coming up. Samantha Ponder will speak with the coach right after these messages.
Welcome to the BMW halftime report.
Bird's eye view of Bristol Motor Speedway. All the way down to the pylon. That's where Sam Rogers was heading. Virginia Tech led 14-0 before Tennessee stormed back. Sam Ponder with Justin Fuente.
Coach, obviously such a strong start and then a huge shift in momentum. So how do you prioritize what the adjustments need to be?
Well, first of all, we just need to relax a little bit. We're a little frenetic out there. I mean, we get all high and jumping around because we're up, and then they're a good team. They come back, and then we're disheveled. If we just calm down a little bit, I think we'll be fine.
On defense, you did such a good job on 3rd down, but Josh Dobbs obviously having his way a little bit. What do you need to do differently defensively to contain him?
Well, he hit us on a couple runs, and one on the quarterback draw, one on a design run, and we may have to get another hat down there to handle that.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Welcome in. It's the BMW halftime report. Stan Verrett along with Mac Brown and Mark May. It's almost been like 2 different games. Virginia Tech stormed out to the lead, and then Tennessee comes back. Which jumped out at you in the first half?
Tennessee quarterback Joshua Dobbs and what he was able to do in the second quarter to ignite this offense and finally jumpstart their offense. They scored more points in the second quarter tonight than they did against App State in their first game. But right here, what a terrific job in the quarterback run. Little counter action, takes the ball down the sidelines, a 40-yard run, gets this offense going. Now you've got to defend the quarterback besides everyone else, the wide receivers and running back in here. They get close to the goal line. He takes it in for the touchdown run. This is what this offense needs. They need to spread out the offense, let him run the ball and control the offense. And if the passing game is there, throw it. If it's not there, let him do what he does best, make plays with his arm and his feet.
Virginia Tech didn't help themselves either.
Now, dominated the first quarter. They came out with such a surge to start this ball game, but then they had the miscue that you can't have. They missed the field goal wide right from Joey Sly, and you can't do that. You needed to get points to start this ball game, and we thought turnovers with two teams that were pretty equal might be a killer. High snap. Gerard Evans drops the ball as C.J. Carroll's coming underneath on the speed sweep. You get the ball back to Tennessee at the 5-yard line, and it's just a killer. Not only do you turn the ball over, but you turn the ball over on your end of the field. Tennessee scores on the next play. And in the second quarter, after all this happened, Virginia Tech only had 30 yards. So it has changed the momentum in this ballgame. Virginia Tech's got to force turnovers, get a special teams play mark to get back in this thing.
And this is what we expected out of this Tennessee offense, for them to move the ball like they're moving the ball. And if they continue to do this, and they're on this right track, this is the team that we thought would be the best team coming out of the SEC East.
All right, 24 unanswered for the Vols to take control of this game. Now, craziest ending we saw today, Central Michigan in Stillwater take on Oklahoma State. 4 seconds left in the game. Oklahoma State's up 27-24. They're trying to run out the clock. So Mason Rudolph just going to throw it up and throw it out of bounds. And Mac, you said
that's what he's taught.
Players are coached to do that.
Yeah, game's over.
So wait a second, though. Intentional grounding on Oklahoma State, and the officials mistakenly give Central Michigan an untimed down. Game should have been over. What do they do with the untimed down? Well, Cooper Rush throws it up. Jesse Kroll pulls it down, laterals it to Malik Fountain, who gets in for the score.
Everything happened perfectly for them to score on this play. If Oklahoma State stops them, we're not even talking about this, Stan, but you hate to have a human error by the officials take a game away from Oklahoma State. Give credit to Central Michigan. Fought hard, made the really good play at the end that would have won the game, but by law, by rule, Oklahoma State should have won this game. Very disappointing for them.
MAC officials at this game, and they're the ones who blew the call. Here's the rule, Rule 10.25a. The period is not extended if the foul is by the team in possession and the statement of the penalty includes loss of down. And that was a fourth down, loss of down. And so it's one Oklahoma State's just going to have to live with. Number one team in the country, Alabama, coming off that impressive win over USC. Taking on Western Kentucky. First quarter game tied at 3. Jalen Hurts, the freshman quarterback, to Calvin Ridley for the touchdown. Bama goes up 10-3. Hurts, the first true freshman to start for Alabama since 1984 at quarterback.
But Stan, you know something? It's the Alabama defense that leads this football team. Eddie Jackson does a terrific job of reading the quarterback's eyes. Right here, picks the ball off, and this is what he does best. This Alabama team's so alert, creating turnovers, taking turnovers, and making it scoring points. Terrific job by Eddie Jackson and putting some points on the board from the Alabama defense.
38-10, tied. Troy taking on number 2 Clemson. Second quarter, Troy's down 10-3. Jabir Fry for Troy. 66 yards for the touchdown to tie it at 10. Troy was in this game the whole way. Late second, Clemson up 3. Ray McLeod going to find a lane and then turn on the speed and get all the way there to the end zone, but he didn't bring the ball all the way with him. Coach, would you say it's a discipline for a player who does that?
Well, it depends on how good he is. If it's Ricky Williams, Ricky, hold on to it a little bit longer. You might bench another guy. I think Ray's probably going to get yelled at a little bit.
Fourth quarter, Clemson up 13-10. Deshaun Watson fakes the handoff. Christian Wilkins for the score. Clemson holds on to win 30-24. Florida State, well, they got a good-looking freshman quarterback, too, DeAndre Francois. He was so good last week, Mark, and he was good again.
Laser beam to Travis Rudolph for the 36-yard touchdown score. He's confident in his offense. He's got so much patience sitting back there, confidence in the guys up front. Guess what he's going to go to his go-to guy again? Travis Rudolph. Another touchdown for Florida State.
Florida State scored on its first 3 drives, never looked back. Dalvin Cook ran for a couple of scores, and the Seminoles roll over Charleston Southern 50-8. Ohio State, well, they rolled Tulsa 48-3. It was 3-3 at one point, then 45 straight from the Buckeyes after a lightning delay. And then Michigan over UCF 51-14. Wilton Spate throws 4 touchdown passes. Wolverines 2 wins by a combined 97 points so far. 150,000 people watching Tennessee lead Virginia Tech at the half. We got some other SEC action coming up after the break.
The BMW Halftime Report is brought to you by BMW. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine.
Houston taking on Lamar. No Greg Ward Jr. for the Cougars in this one. Kyle Postma starting. He started the last time Houston lost. That was a UConn last year, first quarter. Postma, hey, he can run it.
He can run it. Beat Memphis last year. Very impressive performance today by Houston, 42-0. After beating Oklahoma last week, got to go to Cincinnati on Thursday night for a good one.
Had a lightning delay after the delay third quarter. Postma, he'll run it in again. 42-0 Cougars, number 6 team in the country with their eyes on the playoff. Arkansas taking on TCU. Days of the old Southwest Conference. Second quarter, TCU trailing 6-0. Kenny Hill, the transfer from Texas A&M. Probably wishes he had that one back, Mark.
Terrific job by the defense. Brooks Ellis does a great job returning it at 47 yards for the Piggies.
Arkansas goes up 13-0. But then just moments ago, Kyle Hicks, touchdown run in TCU on top, 21-20. How about LSU trying to bounce back from that loss to Wisconsin to open their season? Late second quarter, they're up 20-10. Tre'Davious White, defensive back who does everything, even in the return game. Look at him break that tackle.
Go the other way.
Go backwards. Go backwards. Oh, good job.
He's
I like it.
It turns out to be a 60-yard punt return, but he ran about 150.
Well, and the story of this game is Brandon Harris out right now, quarterback, Danny Etling in, and they're moving the ball and scoring points.
Etling's led a few scoring drives, and the Tigers in control there. Nichols taking on Georgia. Nichols from the championship subdivision, but they gave the Bulldogs a game. Isaiah McKenzie's going to muff this one, and Nichols recovers inside the Georgia 10, so they're in business. This is their first game of the season for Nichols. Got a freshman quarterback, Chase Forcade, to C.J. Bates.
Nice touch.
6-yard touchdown. It's a 2-point game. But Georgia would put it away. No 200-yard day for Nick Chubb.
But he still had 80 and got the job done.
80 on 20 carries, and Georgia survives. Bulldogs win at 26-24. Kirby Smart said he wasn't happy with the way some of his guys played, though. South Carolina taking on Mississippi State. Second quarter, Mississippi State up 14-0. Nick Fitzgerald to Jordan Thomas. Bulldogs up 21-0 at that point. Another look at that grab from Thomas. Defenders in place.
Stan, you knew they'd be ready to play after losing last week to South Alabama. They had a tough week's practice. Very impressive tonight.
24-0 now in the third. Chad Kelly and Mississippi hosting Wofford, second quarter. Kelly going to DK Metcalf for the touchdown.
Terrific concentration by Metcalf right there, taken away from the defender. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss up 17-0 at that point, and they win it 38-13 as Kelly throws for 3 touchdown passes. Florida, 30 straight wins over Kentucky now as they win 45-7 over the Cats. How about Texas? Shane Buechele, Mac, you see you're pretty impressed with him.
Very impressive. He throws to 2-time state championship quarterback Gerard Hurd. They're doing a good job of getting the right players on the field.
41-7 Texas over UTEP right now. Let's take a look at the BMW Ultimate Performance nominee from this afternoon. Pitts James Conner. Mark, 117 rushing yards, 29 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns.
Terrific job by James Conner. Again, 2 weeks in a row. Carries the load for Pitt right here. Little dump-off pass, takes it into the end zone. And what a leader, not only on the field, but off the field. Congratulations, James Conner.
Tune into the 1 a.m. Sports Center to find the BMW Ultimate Performance today. Primetime performers coming up when the BMW Halftime Report rolls on.
The BMW Halftime Report is brought to you by BMW. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine.
My primetime performers, quarterback Cooper Rush. He didn't just have the Hail Mary for Central Michigan. Oh, no, much more. 361 yards, and not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 touchdowns on the day at Oklahoma State as Central Michigan upset Oklahoma State. Nice job, Cooper Rush.
All right, let's give some love to one of the guys hauling it down. Shelton Gibson for West Virginia against Youngstown State. Career high 171 receiving yards and a pair of touchdowns in the Mountaineers win.
And my guy, Lamar Jackson, we saw last night as he set an ACC record, 610 yards, 5 touchdowns against Syracuse. This guy scored 13 touchdowns, 7 passing, 6 rushing in the first 2 games. And we're going to see him match up against Florida State next Saturday at noon.
All right, so we got Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Francois, and the Knowles against Lamar Jackson in Louisville. Oregon and Nebraska and USC taking on Christian McCaffrey and Stanford. Second half coming up.
Welcome back to the Pilot Flying J battle at Bristol. Fans got revved up last night with a live concert from the band Perry. Check out their latest single now, Comeback Kid, live from the Honda Ridgeline stage.
They like to kick you when you're down. They like it better when you're there on the ground. And up till now I've never made a sound. Hey, hey, I bet they've never had a broken heart, but they sure know how to beat the hell out of one. Sometimes I think they do it just for the fun. Hey, hey, 'cause I'm a comeback kid. Don't know what that thing's happened, but they did. I don't think I deserve the hurt I did, but I made for it. It's not the end, no, it's not the end, 'cause I'm a comeback kid. Damn, for a minute I'll get up again. Looks like I'm breaking, but it's just a bend. It's not over yet, 'cause in the end, I'm a comeback kid. I'm gonna finish what I started now. You interrupted me with all your doubts. I dare you forget where I started out. Uh-oh, uh-oh. But no, I'm not leaving, even though I'm bleeding, even though this nightmare makes me wish I was dreaming, even though I hate it, I'm gonna take it until I win, 'cause I'm a comeback kid. Don't know what bad things happened, but they did. I don't think I deserve the hurt I did, but I made for it. It's not the end, no, it's not the end, 'cause I'm a comeback kid. Damn, for a minute I'll get up again. Looks like I'm breaking, but it's just a blend. It's not over yet, 'cause in the end, I'm a comeback kid. I believe in what I am, I believe in what I was, I believe in losing you. I've never been given so much. I believe it's been a year, worst one I've ever lived. I believe I'm better now than I have ever been. I believe that ever since, ever from myself. I believe in every word that ever came out of my mouth. I believe you miss me, but don't have to miss me, 'cause I'm not leaving, no, I'm not leaving. Comeback kid, damn, for a minute I'll get up again. Looks like I'm breaking, but it's just a bend. It's not over yet, 'cause in the end, yeah, I'm a comeback kid. I'm not leaving again, I'm not leaving, I'm not leaving again, I'm not leaving, I'm not leaving again, I'm not leaving, 'cause I'm a comeback kid.
Tennessee had a roster full of comeback kids in the second quarter. Big Orange fell behind by 2 touchdowns but rallied. Welcome back to the Pilot Flying J battle at Bristol. Presented on ABC by Wells Fargo tonight. Still waiting on the final attendance number. More than 150,000 inside, maybe 20,000 or so outside. Good tailgating setup outside to watch this ball game. Virginia Tech had the 14-0 lead, but the Vols roared back with 24 straight points, and we're about to start the third quarter here in Bristol. Reese Davis, Kirk Herbstreit here, and really after Virginia Tech put that ball on the deck, Tennessee finally awakened and took control.
It was a turning point. I mean, Tennessee, between their first game against Appalachian State and the first quarter of this game, it looked like the same team, and I'm sure there are a lot of Vols fans scratching their heads saying, what in the heck is going on? But the fumble really turned the game completely around. I think it gave Tennessee some confidence. It gave them some momentum and some energy for the first time we've seen from them really in their first 2 games that they played, and they haven't looked back since then. It's a great reminder about how passion and energy can help a football team. And this team has so much pressure on them with the expectations, but they've settled in, and you know, there's still a long way to go, Reese. I mean, Justin Fuente just telling Sam walking off at halftime, we just got to relax, just play. You know, I'm sure that was his message at halftime.
And still outgained Tennessee 235 to 182 in the first half, but Tennessee has a chance to continue that momentum. They get the ball first in the second half, but once again the great kickoffs keeping away from the dangerous return men as we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary.
Yeah, this is kind of a summary of what we saw. This was the play. This was the turning point. This gave Tennessee not only the football, it gave them some life. Next play, they go to the corner up in the air, and Jennings makes a nice catch to be able to get the touchdown. And Tennessee, from that point on, they've had opportunities to make one-on-one plays on the perimeter, and they've done that. Josh Malone with a big catch. Josh Dobbs with a big run here to put them up 24 to 14 at half.
And now the Vols snap it for the first time in the second half from their own 25-yard line after the touchback. Joshua Dobbs hit 5 of 8 for 49 yards, couple of touchdowns in the first half. Jalen Hurd had a big second quarter. His first carry of the second half, picks up 1. Matua Pawaka was the first to hit it.
You know, if you're Bud Foster and you're this defensive coordinator at Virginia Tech, you go in there at halftime and you say, guys, we have played great football with the exception of the last drive or two. Control the line of scrimmage and good things will happen. But remember, it's going to come down for Tennessee to move the football on the matchups on the outside. There's one-on-one opportunities on the outside. Can you beat the Virginia Tech secondary?
Hurd pushes his way across the 30. Third down coming. It'll be about 4.5 yards for the first down.
And when the Vols are running the ball, it sets up early down play action pass. Third down and 5 or longer is not good for them because of the offensive line and because of how poor the pass protection is. Ekanum has had a field day down here at the bottom. Watch him here on this third down, see if he can get pressure.
Kamara motioning. They like to get him in space. Kamara has the first down before he's pushed out of bounds. Chuck Clark got out of bounds, but Kamara, a shifty back, elusive, explosive speed. We've seen that play a couple of times from the Vols tonight.
And I like the call from Mike DeBoer because he's probably sensing the same thing you and I and every other fan that's a Tennessee fan is thinking is, are they going to give him time to throw? Instead of worrying about giving him time to throw, you get the ball out in space and get the ball out of his hands quickly.
I marked him out at the 37, and Tennessee, who started the first half with a couple of 3 and outs, and pick up a first down with their initial possession of the third quarter. Back to the ground. Hurd slams his way across the 40. Pickup of about 4.
I don't know if Jalen Hurd, because of some of the other backs in the SEC, really gets the recognition that he probably deserves. It's 6'4", 240 pounds. He is a big tailback.
And that's his deal. He's not going to dance around and make a whole lot of guys miss. He's one cut, get it downhill. Averaging 4.5 yards, a little better than that. The carry after contact. Quarterback draw. Dobbs. It's just across the line of scrimmage. Woody Barron and Ekanum.
And I think he's able to stay fresh because of Kamara, which Jones using both of those backs. And they're both so different in what they bring to the table. I think because he rotates them constantly, it allows them both to stay fresh and be very, very effective. But with Leonard Fournette, Nick Chubb, I mean, you kind of forget about Jalen Hurd at the SEC.
You do at times. Both Hurd and Kamara in the backfield with Dobbs now. This time they'll run it to the right, and there to greet Kamara before he could even get close to the ball. Big time hit out there by Mook Reynolds, who it's the second time Reynolds has been matched up in the open field with Kamara and made a play.
And you're seeing he's feeling it a little bit. You made a great point earlier. He plays that nickel kind of hybrid spot, and watch how quickly he saw the motion. When he saw the motion, he just read it quickly. Ethan Wolf didn't have a chance to make a block on him because of how quickly he reacted. But 180 pounds trying to play that hybrid position, and that was a big collision there.
And a big important stop for Virginia Tech after Tennessee picked up the first down. Trevor Daniel to punt it away. Stroman signals for the fair catch and makes it without incident at his 15-yard line, and that's where the Hokies will have for the first time tonight. Well, we knew we were going to set a college football attendance record, and here it is. 156,990, eclipsing The Michigan-Notre Dame attendance from 2013 of a little over 115,000. And what a turnout, what a show they put on here at Bristol for this matchup.
And Jerry Caldwell and his group did a great job of building this up, the hype surrounding this throughout the last year, really. And for it to live up to this has been fantastic, not just game day, but this entire week.
We had a terrific crowd this morning.
Yeah, it was
a college game day. It was electric. So far, the game's living up to it. Hokies have fallen behind by 10. Gerard Evans running the option. McMillan has the pitch. McMillan picking his way. He has a first down, but the ball's on the deck, and it looks as if Tennessee has it. The 6th fumble that Virginia Tech has lost this season. They only lost 7 all of last year, and Corey Vereen making a play and a costly turnover again for the Hokies.
Well, and just when it looked like it's a nice big gain, they turned the football over. He's just battling for yards. The ball clearly out.
Kelly knocked it free, and here comes Vereen.
Vereen comes in there late, but he sees the football, jumps on top of it, and boy, Virginia Tech, that was about a 12-yard gain. Kind of going back to what they were doing earlier in this football game, controlling the line. Look at the amount of times the ball has been on the ground.
That's the amazing thing. Put it down 5 times last week. Lost 4 of them, and it sounded as if they're reviewing this, although I'm not really sure what they're looking at. That appeared to clearly be a fumble and a recovery.
A theme tonight has been Virginia Tech self-destructing, giving Tennessee the football, not just turnovers, Reese, but where they've turned the football over. The first one, the timing of when they turned the ball over, they were controlling the game, up 14. They fumble, they give Tennessee life. Next play is a touchdown. The game changed after that. Here they are to start the second half. He's fighting for those yards. I mean, this is.
Well, there aren't many orange jerseys around.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
Yeah, that ball, he's still.
Yeah, it looked like Todd
2 feet on the ground when Todd Kelly hit him.
Todd Kelly knocked that ball out. But my point is, it's not just the turnovers, the 2 turnovers. It's when they have done it and how deep they've turned the ball over in their own territory.
Tennessee was closer to the end zone, but after the earlier fumble and recovery, DeBoard went right for the touchdown. They threw the touchdown pass on the first play. Now let's see. Again, that was inside the 10. Here inside the 30. Let's see if Tennessee tries to go over the top.
And the man they like to do that with would be at the bottom of your screen, Juwan Jennings. But you see, there's a safety back here, makes it a little bit tougher instead of one-on-one coverage.
Dobbs eludes the rush for a moment, but Canham tracks him down on a second opportunity. Now they wanted to throw the play they've been running to Kamara out to John Kelly, but Virginia Tech will fake it and then throw it down the field. You see Kelly in there now and going to the flat, the pump fake.
Yeah, he's actually trying to throw the ball off to the right there to Josh Smith. He did a little stutter and then a rail route down the right sideline, but it was covered and he had nowhere to go with the ball.
A loss of 2 as Tennessee did try to strike, but Virginia Tech was ready for it in the pass rush again. Thwarting the Big Orange plans. Option look now. Dobbs strung out nicely. He gets across the line of scrimmage, but not much there as Vinny Mahota tracks down the Tennessee quarterback.
How about Vinny Mahota on that play? I mean, it's an option. They strung it out. In 99, Mahota actually took the pitch man. And as the play was strung all the way to the sideline, he looked over his shoulder and said, I'll take that quarterback down.
And sometimes they say they worry about Vinny in space, but a pretty athletic play by the defensive end. Now 3rd and 10. More pressure. Dobbs gets rid of it, and it's almost intercepted just off the fingertips of Chuck Clark.
Got to believe on these 3rd and long situations that Josh Dobbs on his blind side knows that he's got about 2 seconds before he's going to get hit by number 4, Canham. And Canham almost got to him. Right there, he hits him just as he throws the football. It may have affected his decision-making there. Trying to get the ball thrown out there to Jennings. A good job of kind of sinking in coverage by 19, Chuck Clark.
Aaron Medley's made a 34-yarder tonight. He tried to push the Tennessee lead to 13 from 47 yards out. Kick is on the way, and it is no good. And after the turnover, Fuente's team rises up and gets a stop. Excellent defense by Bud Foster's group. Missed kick, and Virginia Tech will have it back. Down 10 at the battle with Bristol. Let's take a look at AT&T Inside Access, and this is inside the giant four-sided video board that hangs from cables that are anchored outside Bristol Motor Speedway, and you got a couple of guys up there, security guards, although I'm not really sure what they're guarding. I'm not sure who wants to go up there, mess around with Colossus. There's a bird's eye view from this video board, which is 96 feet above the playing surface.
How many tons?
It was like 700 or something
tons?
like that. It's heavy, though. Those cables have to be strong, I can tell you that. Evans runs out of time quickly, and Tennessee defense is swarming.
Now they're getting after. That was Kendall Vickers up front. You know, again, this is supposed to be a strength for this team. The depth on that defensive line, the athletic ability. You can see they're slanting up front. That time, Vickers at 300 pounds shows some pretty good quickness there. Being able to get by the interior of the Virginia Tech offensive line.
And that good look from camera up around Colossus. Quick slant. And is complete. And Kirk, I was just about to say, we hadn't heard from Isaiah Ford since the first few plays of the game when he caught a couple of passes. Got the first two completions, and that's his first one since. They need to get him involved.
I really thought it was potentially a big night for him because of the matchup and the experience that he brings to the table. You're right, they were going his way early. We have not seen him at all. As physical as he is and as quick as he is a tough matchup.
He comes in here with a Virginia Tech record, 4 consecutive 100-yard receiving games. He's gone over 2,000 for his career. Evans going to have to get out of there. And now, just as in the first half, we saw Virginia Tech's defensive line having its way. Now, those fellas in orange are starting to dominate.
How about your guy, Danny O'Brien? Just a push. He actually gets off the ball so quick up front there and just pushed the left guard right back. Watch how fast he moves right here. Gets off the ball quick. I don't think Pettit knew it hit him there. And again, the defensive line beginning to assert itself.
And I think we had a flag down.
There is no foul on the play for unsportsmanlike conduct.
So he had a flag down, but he didn't mean it. Changed his mind. Third sack for Tennessee. Well,
yeah, what is
cleaning
that
up on the pile?
What does that accomplish right there?
I think that was Jalen Reeves-Maven, who got kicked out of the game against Appalachian State last week, targeting on a punt return.
Guy's standing there, and you're going to hit him from behind like that.
Tennessee up 10. They get the ball back.
Close to the line of scrimmage.
Sportsmanlike conduct. Virginia Tech, number 32. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's the last thing Virginia Tech needed. The late flag coming in on the punt play. Now Fuente's team is going to have 15 tacked on to improve Tennessee's field position. (24-14) got the penalty straightened out. We'll take a break and be back at Bristol after this.
Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. Brought to you by Pilot Flying J, serving drivers with over 650 locations nationwide. The all-new Honda Ridgeline for truck-tough things and everyday things. And Home Depot, more saving, more doing.
Back here at Bristol Motor Speedway, better than 156,000 watching, and aerial coverage provided tonight by Goodyear. Give your ground game some confidence with superior performance from Goodyear. Goodyear, official sponsor of the college football playoff. Look at these seats sitting on the turns. Those banks are like 26 to 30 degrees. Narrow, fast, loud. People who've seen a NASCAR race here say if you go to one race, you should go here and see it. They put on quite a football game tonight as Dobbs bouncing off Hokie defenders. Gets it right around midfield. Second down coming. Tennessee was very fortunate that it didn't get a penalty on that previous play. Jalen Reeves-Maben went in with the hit and got away with it. Vinny Mahota is down on the AstroTurf for the Hokies. Now look at this. It's racing. See how tight it is? It's fast. 1995, August 25th. Look at Earnhardt and Labonte. It's Terry Labonte there spinning. Well, you know what they say? It's Bristol, baby. You're going to get sideways every now and then. And now Earnhardt in the 3 car, as you know. There they go in 1999. They go into the turn and the same thing happened. Puts him in the spin cycle. But I think just one of those racing deals, wasn't it, Dr. Jerry Punch? Just a racing deal.
Yeah, Earnhardt said in Victory Lane when I was trying to interview him, and 140,000 were screaming. I didn't mean to wreck him. I just meant to rattle his cage, but that's typical of what you saw. Full contact stock car racing here at Bristol.
Well, we see people in this game that are trying to wreck each other. And Josh Dobbs trying to wreck the Virginia Tech defense. Josh Dobbs. And nobody was able to spin him out. A big pickup for the Vols.
Trevin Hill, the freshman, got lost here completely. Watch him bite down on the zone read. He's going to make this read right there. He reads. He comes down on Jalen Hurd, gives him a huge running lane.
Dobbs now going up top and throwing it toward the sideline. Good coverage over there on Josh Smith. Terrell Edmonds sort of rode him out of bounds. It'll be second down and 10.
Josh Dobbs now 12 carries, 79 yards and a touchdown. As we knew coming into tonight he would have to use his legs and be a factor in this run game, and he sure has.
The last run picked up 31. Tennessee didn't have a run in its first game longer than 13 yards. They've had a couple of explosive runs tonight. Kamara, who was shaken up earlier, has returned to the game, and Alvin has it. He's hitting the backfield, and Woody Barron was the first one there, and he got help from a whole host of Hokies.
Josh Dobbs would probably love to have that one back. It's the same play. He just misread it. Trevin Hill this time. Watch 94. He's going to read him. Watch this read. He comes down on the back. Pull it. Got to pull that out and have yards to run.
You're right. If there was an alley there, he might have scored.
Yeah, that's his read. He collapses on the back. You pull it out. If he stays wide, you give it to the back.
Third down and 14. Pressure on Dobbs. Spins away from it. Dumps it in the flat. First down and more for Kamara. Touchdown, Tennessee. On 3rd and 14, Dobbs escapes some pressure. Trevon Hill had him for just a moment. Spun out of his grasp. And the senior majoring in aerospace engineering makes a play through the air. And Kamara finished it. 5 plays, 52 yards, and Tennessee stretched its lead to 30-14 with the extra point pending. Medley puts it through. Tennessee has a little bit of breathing room now. 31 consecutive points after falling behind by 2 touchdowns, and number 6 gets 6 for the Vols.
Cassidy Hubbarth with your studio update. Wild one between Arkansas and TCU. Closing seconds of regulation. TCU's Ryan Graff's field goal blocked by 6'10" Dan Skipper. Right now, Arkansas with a 35-34 lead. The test effect in full effect over on ESPN, guys.
Cassidy, it is a wild one going on over there. TCU trying to tie it up and extend it to another overtime period, while In our game here in Bristol Motor Speedway, the Volunteers have taken control. Josh Dobbs just tied his career high with his 3rd touchdown pass of the night. He only has 7 completions as Tennessee kicks it away, and Virginia Tech desperately needs to get something going on offense, or in a kick return from Greg Stroman. Stroman across the 30 and pushed out of bounds just short of the 35 as we go back to the touchdown.
It's man-to-man across the board here. You have 2 matched up right here. You have 2 matched up right here. Kamara's going to just slide out of the backfield. But I think what's interesting here is as he kind of sneaks out of the backfield, look at this collision. Remember I talked about man-to-man? Coming across here, this guy's eyeing Kamara, but he's actually going to get affected. That's Hulskamp. And a great job of keeping his eyes. He had to scramble because protection's an issue again. He kept his eyes downfield, and he finds his check down there, Kamara, and it's a touchdown. Good job by Dobbs. Good recognition that time. Finds his check down instead of taking off running. And of course, you get the ball out to Kamara. He can do some great things in the open field.
Kamara, the 3rd different Volunteer to catch a touchdown pass tonight. And while Herbie was showing you that touchdown, Tennessee was flagged for a personal foul. So in addition to the good return by Greg Stroman, you tack 15 onto that, and they start this drive at their own 49-yard line. Gerard Evans, the junior college transfer. Sam Rogers, who really had some explosive plays in the early part of this game. There's a short gain on 1st down here.
You know, the approach changes now for Justin Fuente and his quarterback Gerard Evans. Obviously down now in this game. They've got to make some plays, and they have to have a quick strike mentality to be able to give themselves a chance to come back in this second half if they have hopes of doing it.
Kirk, you just saw that no Virginia Tech with 1 first down since the start of the 2nd quarter, and that came on a pass interference penalty. Evans now going up top, and on the subject of pass interference penalties, Justin Martin might well have gotten one again, trying to handle big 6'7" Bucky Hodges.
I don't blame him out there, 6'7". Justin Martin is not a small guy, 6'1" corner.
Pass
but boy,
interference.
he locked up on him there early.
15-yard penalty.
The entire route, he was physical.
Well, Justin looked a little frustrated by the call, but I have no idea why. I mean, he was dancing with him pretty good all the way down, and that's the 4th penalty of the night on Butch Jones's team for 40 yards, and it gives Virginia Tech 1st down, the 33-yard line of Tennessee. Hodges in motion, pitch to Shy McKenzie. McKenzie lowering his pads and running through Jalen Reeves-Maben, who had to hit a guy looking forward instead of looking in the opposite direction this time, and Shy got the better of that one.
Watch my man Sam Rogers, 45, on a block here. I mean, he's 8-10 yards downfield blocking people. Isaiah Ford picked up a good block, but boy, Sam Rogers is the total package as a running back, fullback, H-back. He does it all.
Evans to the outside. Cam Phillips has a 1st down, and Phillips is inside the 20. And just when you thought Virginia Tech was on the ropes, the Hokies now fighting back.
Yeah, nice little rub route against man coverage. Inside receiver just goes to the flat, and the 2 outside receivers come in trying to affect the man-to-man coverage and try to slow down Goldwyn there, who was man-to-man with Cam Sims. Worked well.
Inverted wishbone look, option. Hodges trying to get the edge, stiff arm, and Bucky pushes past Rashawn Golden and gets to about the 11 or 12-yard line.
Yeah, when you run an option play and there's a man there assigned to the quarterback and he's right in perfect position, the way they had right there, and then you've got a man already on the outside like Goldwyn waiting for the pitch, makes it very, very tough. Virginia Tech fortunate to be able to pick up 5 yards there, because that was defended pretty well as far as the scheme of it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, and it shows you when you're running a guy 6'7", 245 or so, and he gets ahead of steam going, he can make something out of it. So 2nd down and 5. McKenzie eludes a tackle, hurdles one, and then gets turned upside down by Reeves-Maben.
Boy, up front, Tennessee getting a big push. Shy Tuttle, watch number 2 in the middle. Look at that push right there. Does a good job. Also, the big fella, Khalil McKenzie. Both those guys, highly touted recruits. And starting to, all of a sudden, I'm sure there's Vols fans sitting at home watching, saying, there the big guys are. Those guys were about as heavily recruited as any players in the nation when they came out in high school.
And Tuttle, coming back from a broken leg, suffered last year. On third down, Evans feeling some heat, eludes a couple of guys, and there is Tuttle wrapping him up and getting some help from Reeves-Maben, but Evans still pushing forward, and we've seen this several times tonight.
He just doesn't give up.
No, he's a pretty big cat to be bringing down.
He doesn't give up. How about the push in the middle with those 2 guys out there? I mean, you, as a quarterback, you want to step up in the pocket. There's not a lot of room to run.
And there is Khalil McKenzie, sophomore defensive lineman. His dad, Reggie McKenzie, general manager of the Raiders. As we
look at that,
take another look at this
pocket closing. They brought the blitz there with Reeves-Maben. I mean, there's 3, 4 Vols, 5, 6. Look at the quarterback. Look at Evans. He's still driving.
He's driving, and so too are the Virginia Tech linemen trying to push the pile. You know, not really surprising at all that Evans would be able to use his feet. Not only is he a big guy, as you see Joey Sly on to kick the field goal, and they're working on McKenzie, but Evans started his career at the Air Force Academy.
That's right.
Sam?
Reese, also something to add on Gerard Evans there. After that last drive, he came off the field and immediately sought out the attention of the medical staff. It seemed like he was dealing with something bothersome under his left shoulder pad. And with him taking those hits right there, it'll be interesting to see how he handles it. He took some medicine, obviously ran back out there and is doing all right. But the more hits he takes throughout the night may become more of a concern.
Interesting. And the coach is telling us he's an emotional player. They're interested to see how he would respond to adversity. Would he keep his cool, or would he kind of come off the rails a little bit? And they've had, again, the miscues have cost them, but for a guy running a new system as a junior college quarterback in this environment with all the buildup and the way Tennessee's come after him here these last couple quarters, for the most part, you got to feel pretty good about the looks of him in this offense.
You know, it's an unusual path, Kirk, to start at an academy, wind up at a junior college, and then come back. What happened was he was injured early in his first year at the academy, and I was talking to him about it yesterday. And not that he didn't sincerely appreciate the opportunity, but he said, I was there for the football. And he said, when I got injured, I realized I needed a change. So he went to junior college and has found his way here to Virginia Tech. Joey Sly is going to try to get this back to a 2-possession game. 26-yard field goal attempt is true, and Virginia Tech stops a run of 31 straight Tennessee points. 14-point lead for the Vols. Here's the national championship trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. It'll be awarded to the winner of the college football championship January 9th in Tampa. College football playoff semifinal games on New Year's Eve, but it's a weekend. This time on Saturday.
That's right.
The Fiesta Bowl in Glendale, Arizona will have one of them. The Peach Bowl in Atlanta will have the other. Tennessee has aspirations of winding up there. Volunteers got off to a sluggish start tonight, but now with a 31-17 lead after Virginia Tech watched the Vols score 31 straight. They just put a field goal on the board, put together nice drives, aided by penalty, but now with 3:41 left in the third, we got a ball game. 14-point lead for Tennessee. Tomorrow afternoon, 4 Eastern on ESPN, it's the men's final of the 2016 U.S. Open. Novak Djokovic going to take on Stan Wawrinka for the title. 4 o'clock Eastern time. Coverage begins 3:30 Eastern with the red carpet show. It's streaming live on the Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
Mr. Fowler probably fired up for that one.
He will be locked in on it. Chris will be on the call in the U.S. Open men's final. Joshua Dobbs firing it, going for a back shoulder fade look. Brandon Faison there for the coverage. Now, Tennessee didn't get anything done in the first quarter, but since then got plenty done.
Yeah, we talk about game of adjustments and breaks and momentum, and Tennessee and Butch Jones they've been able to capitalize on some opportunities to really get them going. And once they were able to give them credit, once they got the breaks, they've become a different football team.
Dobbs with 3 touchdown passes among his 7 completions. Oh, and he almost threw an interception. There's Ekanham again, who this time, instead of rushing, dropped and almost picked off that middle screen.
Well, just great awareness by Ekanham. Watch him right here. Watch what he does. He recognizes right away. They're going to throw this to Jalen Hurd. He's playing it like a linebacker. He's a defensive end. He rushes the quarterback, but he sensed something with Hurd and the lineman, and right away he dialed up. His eyes locked in on Hurd. He was smart enough to be able to knock that away. Now they get this offensive line to 3rd down and long.
Now Ekanham slides down inside, now moves back to the outside. Tennessee had an offensive lineman fall down. And breaking up the pass is Chuck Clark. And did a flag come in? It did indeed. Oh, now
I thought
Daniel Capron's going to talk it over.
See the replay. Live, it looked like he got his arm around without making much contact, but to see what they said.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 60. Pass interference, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Woody Barron, the defensive tackle on the inside, comes off with a block and just makes a really poor decision.
Yeah.
Just you're doing everything you can to get the ball back. And I know there was a pass interference call, but just a really poor decision on 3rd down. If that ball is incomplete and you give up a 1st down because of that.
We've seen both teams give the other side 1st down because of penalties, and on this 1st down the Vols are going to move backward, I believe. Discussing
false start, multiple players on the offense.
Yeah, they could.
5-yard penalty.
That's why I was wondering what they
down.
were talking about. It looked like the right side of the offensive line.
Reese, just a heads up, suddenly the wind is really blowing down here. They're talking down here about the change in weather because it's supposed to start pouring any minute now. So obviously keep an eye out for that as you're covered, though, so it doesn't really affect you.
In the air conditioning, too.
Well, Sam has heard picks up a couple. I was going to ask you, Sam, I know you had a fire suit for College game day this morning.
Yeah,
Did you bring rain gear,
that doesn't help me. I have nothing. So thanks for the reminder.
But on a more serious note, you see where we are in Bristol, right in the middle. I feel like, I feel like Al Roker, one of the weather guys or something. Bristol's right there in the middle. We've got a big line of weather moving that way. We'll see if we get this game done before the weather arrives, as Josh Dobbs looks for the outside, and he's cut down after picking up 1. Adonis Alexander on the tackle, and we got another flag.
Maybe a block in the back there.
Holding, offense, number 18. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And it's Jason Kroom, the receiver.
Yeah, that is 2nd down and long. They run a quarterback power. Good job of trying there. There's the call right there. They double teamed him, actually. One's holding him, the other one's blocking him in the back. But Virginia Tech is there. I was going to say 2nd long, you should. There's a loss of yards, if anything. Maybe right back to the line of scrimmage. You decline it. Now it's 3rd and long. You're trying to get the ball back.
Yeah, that's what they did. They've got it sorted out now, so it'll be 3rd down. That hand around the back is what got Kroom. It wasn't much of a hole.
Yeah. They're going to rush 3 and drop 8 into coverage.
3's been enough sometimes against the Tennessee O-line. Let's see how they hold up this time. Only 3 rushing. Dobbs gets hit as he released it, and not able to hold on to it is Josh Smith. It'll be 4th down Tennessee will have to punt it away. It was Nigel Williams applying the heat.
What a luxury when you can rush 3 and get some pressure because of dropping 8. You have a lot of underneath coverage for the short throw, and you have 3 guys that are back deep. I tell you, they got to be careful. Anytime you get near a quarterback's head in any way, you're on. It's a little slippery slope, and it's a judgment call by a referee. My man Dave Katai up here might call that. Gentleman downstairs. I mean, you just don't know from week to week. Depends on the official.
Dave's nodding in agreement with you. Stroman gets chased out of bounds, makes the catch inside his 20 as we check in with Cassidy Hubbard.
Thanks, Reese. Now, after TCU kicked a field goal, Arkansas with 3rd and goal. Austin Allen with the QB keeper, a design run, and the grown man strength pushes his way into pay dirt, and the Razorbacks upset TCU in double overtime. Guys.
Congratulations to Brett Bielema on a big win going into Fort Worth. Understand that there was a call on Kenny Hill at the end of regulation. It helped give Arkansas great field position where he did a throat slash gesture, gave Arkansas great field position to be able to tie that football game up.
He had to go for 2, I believe, to tie it up late, and they blocked a field goal at the end of regulation. McMillan gets it across the 20. And not the greatest start, big picture for the Big 12. And Texas and Baylor have been fine, but you had Oklahoma State losing today, TCU falls, and then Oklahoma's lost to Houston early.
I love teams getting tested and being able to come through it in September, because it really, in the long run, helps build character and belief in a team.
Bucky Hodges carrying, going to be stopped short the first down as we're headed toward a minute and a half to play in the 3rd quarter.
And until you go through those experiences, you really don't know what you have until you get hit in the face and have to fight through it, like Florida State against Ole Miss the other night. Well, it's not good to see Darren Kirkland down. It's a cramp.
Kirkland is a do-everything guy. He's intense. He can cover all the way out to a slot position. Obviously, we've seen him stop the run too. And it's been a hot day. It's been a hot week here in Bristol. It's comfortable tonight, but still expending a lot of injuries and or takes a lot of energy, I should say. And it appears that they're working on Kirkland. Let's see if we can figure out exactly what happens. His left knee kind of went into the back of his right ankle there as he was making the tackle on Bucky Hodges. So now, Kirk, as you look at where we are as they attend to Kirkland on the field, and they're moving that leg around, and I would take that to be a positive sign at this point. But right now you see the stats here, and Tennessee hasn't had a lot of passing yards, and Virginia Tech hasn't had a lot of consistent offense lately. Down 2 touchdowns. What do the Hokies need to do?
Well, I think they're doing a good job of giving themselves at least a chance to stay in the game. If you can keep it within just a 2-possession game, you're one play away offensively from making a play in the pass game with Evans and the receivers. Boom, now all of a sudden you're at a 1-possession game. So I think they're doing what they need to do. They're going to have to still, you don't want to get impatient and just start throwing it downfield, but you are going to have to take some chances. You're going to have to find a matchup that you like and take a few shots downfield. But still, there's a lot of time left to only be down by a couple scores.
We've got a 3rd down and 2 working here in the waning moments of the 3rd quarter, and Samantha Ponder telling us that it has started to rain a little bit down on this AstroTurf surface. 3rd down and 2 for the Hokies. Evans has it batted right back at him, rejected, and Virginia Tech will face 4th down.
We've not seen a lot of Shy Tuttle tonight, but he is making his presence felt. The last couple series, you can see why so many people are excited about him. It's great to see him back from the injury. And he's getting a push up there, and also great job of being able to read the quarterback, anticipating a quick throw on 3rd and 2, and going up and knocking it down.
And Shy's working his way back into shape too. And Sutton trying to clear everybody away from the punt. Now it's taking a Virginia Tech roll. It'll be down to about the 33-yard line, and that's where the Vols will have it back. Monday Night Football is back. The annual doubleheader to cap off week 1. It's 6:55 Eastern time. It'll be the Steelers and the Redskins, and then at 10:15 Eastern, the 49ers host the Los Angeles Rams. Coverage begins Monday Night Countdown 5 on ESPN. Also streaming live, all of it on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. We have Sean McDonough, regular season debut, and then here's Butch Jones running down the sidelines, giving some encouragement, and also running through the middle of the field is Jalen Hurd.
It's because he knows up to possessions, it's just not quite enough. This is a big opportunity with great field position, and they're going to crank up the tempo. Remember, last series, they were throwing the ball. Now they're going to start with a run, and now they start with tempo.
Hurd takes it. Reed, it looked for a second as if Dobbs might have had another idea, but Jalen clamped down on that baby and took it himself.
This Tennessee offense is built for running Hurd, running Kamara, running Josh Dobbs. And when you have success with that, it opens up how they like to attack you through the air. And that wasn't there early in the game. And they put Josh Dobbs and his offensive line into some obvious passing situations. They're not built for that.
Final half minute of the third quarter. They're going to have to be effective consistently in the throw game as Josh Smith gets out on the edge. If they're going to achieve the things that they want to in terms of winning the SEC East and beating Florida and beating Alabama and being a contender for the playoff, because even as well as they've responded tonight, and there's still a long way to go in this game, it doesn't all appear to be clicking just yet.
Especially on the road in the SEC. When you have an offensive line in a home game and basically a neutral side game struggling in pass protection, imagine when you go into some of the venues in the SEC and the line can't hear, and you can't always rely on running the football. If that running game's not there, you're going to have to be able to shore up the pass protection.
Tennessee 15 minutes away from a victory. That's the end of the third quarter here in Bristol. We'll be back right after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Welcome back to the Pilot Flying J Battle at Bristol. Presented on ABC by Wells Fargo. Fourth quarter about to start here at Bristol Motor Speedway. A record crowd for a college football game, as you see the fine linebacker from Tennessee, Darren Kirkland, being carted away.
Hate to see that. Right in the middle of that defense, knows it, does a great job. He's really helped Bob Shoop out a lot coming over from Penn State. One of the leaders of their defense.
He's a terrific player, and we hope it's not a serious situation. Flag down in the backfield as Dobbs is intercepted. Mook Reynolds making another play, and he runs out of bounds, and a turnover comes. There's another flag that flew in late, so they'll have to sort out all of the laundry on the field and people getting together on the sideline.
Offense number 51. That penalty is declined. First down, Virginia Tech.
Well, we've talked a lot tonight about Mook Reynolds and what a big night he has had, and he just does a great job of reading it. Bad snap, the ball's down. I think it affects the rhythm of the quarterback. It's a poor read. He throws late to his man Josh Malone. I think the bad snap right away impacted him and affected him.
Yeah, we saw that late flag come in too.
The block there by Hill, I think, is what the call is.
Yeah, they called the hold that was declined because of the turnover, and they're still conferring in the middle of the field. Now, we're a long way away, but I thought I saw a flag come in right at that end of the block in the back.
Interception. Illegal block in the back. Virginia Tech, number 4. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced. It's Virginia Tech's ball. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Virginia Tech, number 6. That 15-yard penalty will also be enforced. First down, Virginia Tech.
Well, I guess the moral of that story for Virginia Tech is at least they got the ball, because they threw it in reverse and sacrificed some pretty significant field position.
I just happen to be looking at the replay here. Watch what he does here. Reynolds, remember the guy that we talked about earlier? The backup quarterback to the far right, 13.
Jones.
He kind of gives him a little that right there.
Yeah,
that's what they call. Boy, he's had a big impact on the game for a guy that's a fourth-string quarterback. He's out down there. He's impacting the emotions of the game.
Okay, so here's what you have. You have 25 yards in lost field position as a result of the block in the back and the extracurriculars along the sideline.
You got to keep your cool. You're caught up in a game, and I understand that. It's about your pride, but you're down by 14. Let him say whatever he wants. Go back to you just made a great play.
So they'll have it instead of up in the neighborhood of midfield. They're back inside their own 20. Quarterback draw. Evans almost fumbled the football. And he ends up picking up a yard before Reeves-Maben stops him.
Again, now you're talking about a little bit of urgency here from Justin Fuente and his quarterback Gerard Evans. No reason to panic. I mean, you're one play away from being right in the game, so they're not going to have to just start throwing it, heaving it downfield, but they do need a little bit of urgency as far as getting these plays called.
Been going a little bit slower of late. They ran 89 plays and ran a play about every 23 seconds against Liberty, but fellas in orange, they aren't Liberty. Evans trying to run it again, gets away from a couple of guys, but that didn't last long, and I think all of that effort maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
And Bob Shoop, what he's doing with his defense is he's keeping two of his safeties back deep, and he's trying to take away any potential explosive play, willing to give up some passes underneath, but trying to take away anything downfield, making it very hard on Evans and his receivers.
See, the Hokies have gone 0 for 6 in third down conversions since starting off hot. After the turnover, this is one they could really use. Tennessee coming after him. Evans over the middle. Phillips has the first down, and a very smart play by Phillips not to give any ground after he caught it, planted his foot, turned back upfield, and moved the sticks.
And again, we talked about how the safeties are going back here, so it opens up some room to work in the middle. You got to split those linebackers. It's a tight window, but he makes a nice throw. Actually found a hole in front of the linebacker.
Well, Cam Phillips making a tough catch across the middle of the field as Evans has his 13th completion, and Hokies convert a third down. It had been a while. Evans wanted to take a shot, still loading up, and now just heaves it out of bounds. It'll be second down and 10 as we check in with Cassidy.
Guys, another wild finish, this one in the Holy War. BYU down 2019 after they scored a touchdown. They elect to go for two. Taysom Hill denied, and Utah hangs on to win 20-19, guys.
Cassidy, that is 6 straight losses for BYU to Utah. Galani Sataki, new head coach for the Cougars, former assistant of Kai Whittingham and close friends. They played a barn burner in Salt Lake City. Got a good one going here. Old-fashioned looking draw. Tennessee wasn't having it. Big fella right in the middle, Danny O'Brien.
Danny O'Brien told us Thursday when you and I were at Knoxville, we had a chance to say hello to him, that hey, you guys are going to be calling my name a lot on Saturday night. I love that from the senior from Flint, Michigan, and he's right. He's had a heck of a night.
Kirk, I know from experience, all the guys from Flint are scrappers. Tough. Another third down facing Virginia Tech. Just converted one with a pass over the middle of Phillips. Let's see what Gerard Evans has now. Tennessee bringing heat, and Evans has a little room to run. Can he get to the first down? He can, all the way up to the 45-yard line. Strong, tough run by the Hokie quarterback. Moves the chains.
And they bring the blitz from the right of the offense. It overloads it, and it opens up a big crease off to the left. Really good job there of finding that first down marker and finding that hole there to the left.
16-yard pickup on 3rd and 12, and here's Sam Rogers, just like early in the game, and Sam lowering the shoulder and giving a little discard to Justin Martin.
Yeah, if you're going to come up and tackle 45, you better be ready. I mean, he's going to lower the forearm and go right through you, especially a corner trying to come up.
There's always a place, or there should be, for a fullback in football, shouldn't there be?
Oh, yeah.
Another first down for the Hokies. They moved it into Tennessee territory. Snap, slant. There's Ford with the catch. Isaiah Ford with another first down for Virginia Tech. Emmanuel Mosley with the stop, and the Hokies have a little rhythm.
Yeah, a little bit of rhythm, and surprised to see an inside linebacker not aligned off to that right. Gave him a huge throwing lane on a quick slant. You beat the corner, there's not a linebacker in the middle, makes it for an easy throw.
Back to the top, slant the other way. That was too high. Phillips had some running room. If Evans could have put it right on his chest.
Yeah, if he ends up putting that ball right on the money, there's a chance he splits the safeties and walks into the end zone.
We'll take a quick look at this one. Evans, he had to get it over Tuttle, and it maybe Tuttle might have actually gotten a finger on it.
He did.
Too.
Yeah, he did.
Shai Tuttle living up to that recruiting billing. He was having a good freshman season before he got hurt last year. Evans, oh, that's a nifty grab by Phillips. That was a tough catch, and then he didn't hold it. After making the catch, he fumbled it again. Kendall Vickers stripped it away, and it's a turnover, and Tennessee's made a play on defense. Well, that was a tough catch on a low pass, and then he couldn't secure the ball. And Virginia Tech has had fumbleitis in its first 2 games, and this one's going to cost him again.
Vickers at 300 pounds downfield, not giving up on the play. You're right, he makes a nice move to get some yards, but here comes the big fella coming in to knock that ball loose, and you're right. It's another turnover for Virginia Tech, and they're just self-destructing tonight.
Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Virginia Tech jumped on top of the Vols 14-0, but since the start of the second quarter, Tennessee's put up 239 yards. Josh Dobbs taking care of business, throwing 3 touchdown passes and the 3 fumbles. Those are the biggest thing for Virginia Tech. Cam Phillips just had a nice gain that went awry at the end when he had the football stripped away. You know, some of this, I mean, you got to take care of the ball, but Virginia Tech hasn't exactly had luck recovering them. There's a fumble on the ground that rolls right back to Hurd. My point exactly, Virginia Tech has fumbled 8 times in 2 games this season. They've lost 7 of them. Sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way, but that's why you need to secure it so it doesn't get on the ground in the first place, right?
And again, we keep talking about how they're running a different system from the system of the past when Frank Beamer was the head coach. You know, they are opening it up a little bit more, and you know, but at the same time, some of these fumbles are just whether you're running a conservative offense or an open approach. It's just plays you got to be able to make and be able to hold on to.
There's Phillips, who's made some good plays, and play's been halted temporarily. Terrell Edmonds being helped off the field. Fine defensive back for the Hokies. Next Saturday, College game day headed to Louisville. Florida State and Louisville, 9 a.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Going back to Coach Corso's old stomping ground.
First time ever for College game day to Louisville. Back to Coach Corso, Lamar Jackson.
Have you seen one of the I know hottest, you've seen this cat. People at home seen this dude.
Well, last year he was a star, and the first 2 games, you see his numbers. He's off to as good a start as anybody in the country. But yeah, game day's never been to Louisville.
That'll be a great environment. They'll be jacked up, and it's going to be a tremendous game. Obviously, this will be by far the biggest defensive challenge that Lamar Jackson, Louisville face in Florida State. But I tell you what, those guys look dangerous as Matua Puwaka's there to make the stop for Virginia Tech on Hurd.
Yeah, this Virginia Tech defense is not giving up on this football game. I know you're under 10 minutes. You're down by 2 touchdowns. They just blew a real opportunity deep in Tennessee territory. But if you get a stop right here, you get the football back, you're going to have pretty good field position.
Down 2 touchdowns, important 3rd down for the Hokies.
Again, rushing 3 and dropping 8 into coverage.
See if the 3 can get heat. There are 2 of them on a cannon to slow him down. Hurd swarmed under. First guy to hit him, Mook Reynolds again.
See, that's exactly what you want. When you rush 3, if you actually get pressure, it's like icing on the cake. The real reason you rush 3 and drop 8 is to be able to have 8 helmets 8 sets of eyes staring at the quarterback. And the freshman, actually, Hill, did get in there. But see, you have 3 guys rallying to the football. It's exactly what you want. Great leverage on the ball.
Trevor Daniel standing at his 6th to punt for Tennessee. Greg Stroman hasn't had a lot of return opportunities tonight. They'd have one good special teams play, and he came up and I think he muffed the punt. Now, did Tennessee get it before it went out of bounds? It was a dangerous play by Stroman going up to try to field it in traffic. To take possession of the ball, Tennessee had to secure it before it went out of bounds, and they did. Another miscue and turnover for Virginia Tech. You've talked a lot about patience tonight, and in that particular instance, Stroman perhaps trying too desperately to make a play.
Yeah, I think he ran into his own man there, Curtis Williams.
You know what? And if Stroman hadn't done that, that ball's probably going to hit Curtis Williams in the back anyway.
Yeah, it is.
So. Micah Abernathy there to scoop up the loose ball, the 4th turnover of the night for the Hokies.
Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. Security, convenience together. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far. And in part by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA. And Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich.
Replay official Tom Herbert had another look at that recovery of the muffed punt to see if Micah Abernathy of Tennessee was in bounds. Ruling on the field stood. We looked at several angles during the commercial break. It was tough to tell. It looked to me, I thought Abernathy made the recovery before touching out of bounds. Officials concurred as Dobbs completes the pass to Jason Kroom. And here's another look at that.
This is probably the best look. And we were talking with Dave Kataya. There's just not enough evidence to overturn that.
Completion to Kroom. Got 9. Tennessee with a 2-touchdown lead as we wind down toward 8 minutes. Trying to put this thing away. Hurd noses around and it's the ball forward for a couple yards, enough to get the first down.
That's a good job just staying north and south. I thought for a second he was going to try to bounce it and potentially try to go wide, and then potentially you end up losing 3 or 4 yards, and now it's a 3rd and 5, but instead he just picked up his 2 or 3 yards and got the first down.
Dobbs on the sideline for assistance. They'll adjust the formation, put Hurd on the other side.
Got 8 guys up close to the line of scrimmage, obviously.
Here's Hurd cutting it back, and boy, he took a hit right in the midsection, but still a good pickup on first down. Let's take a look at this week's AP rankings, brought to you by Capital One. Now Clemson only won by 6. Some impressive performances from Ohio State and Florida State. Would you shuffle them up a little bit?
Yeah, you probably would look at that. I think Alabama is going to be up there. Alabama, Florida State. I think Clemson's sleepwalking right now. These first couple games, they'll probably slide down a spot or 2. Ohio State, Michigan continue to not be challenged, but look very, very good.
Dobbs pulled it inside the 20. Joshua Dobbs on his way. Touchdown, Tennessee.
You know, when you have a long run like that, it takes some great blocks downfield, and he picked up some blocks by his receivers, and the big tight end, Ethan Wolf, did a good job. Zone read, he's reading, he can him, comes down, he pulls it out. He's got the speed. There's one good block. Another block off right in front of him there, the receiver Josh Smith. And again, he's got the speed when he gets to that 2nd and 3rd level to make you pay for it. Again, we knew he would run the ball. He's over 100 yards tonight now running.
And he set a career record rushing yards by a quarterback. He's had a 100-yard rushing night, accounting for 5 touchdowns, and the Big Orange up big. Let's take a look at tonight's All-State good hands play. Tennessee's had some good hands.
The big fella, Shy Tuttle, on a third down play, anticipating a quick throw, goes up and knocks that down with his big paw. And then how about this? Kendall Vickers downfield, knocking that ball loose. Cam Phillips.
And look who got it. Micah Abernathy. He's recovered 3 fumbles tonight. That is a Tennessee single game record, and that is why people in this section of seats, they're very sad. And then across the state line from Virginia into Tennessee, which is Bristol, sits right on the state line, much happier with the brighter shade of orange. And Virginia Tech takes over, down 38-17. All right, Kirk, time for your All-State street cred this week. You see the All-State bus, which has joined us here in Bristol.
Yeah, this year All-State and I are handing out street cred on Twitter each week, kind of highlighting the best performance each week on college football. And this week, what a great performance at Heinz Field by the Pitt Panthers. It ended up being a really competitive game. They were up big, and Penn State fought back in a rivalry game, and Pitt gets the street cred. Team of the week.
Another football on the ground for Tennessee, and this time it's Shy Tuttle who beats everybody to the ball. Another fumble, another addition for a good hands play, and Fuente, at this point, I'm not sure what you do.
5 turnovers now on the night. This ball just Gerard Evans never had a chance. Look at the big man running. Look at Tuttle with 311. Last year, broken ankle. They wanted to ease him back in, and we've seen him play a lot of football in this second half. That is a great sign for Tennessee ball fans.
Would you like to know that the last 3 times Virginia Tech has touched the ball, all fumbles? Last 3 plays, all fumbles. And here at Bristol Motor Speedway, the Volunteers are racing for the checkered flag. And they've spun Virginia Tech out and put them into the wall along the way. John Kelly, a young back there, very high on, and they take the checkered. They might have to run some laps for 6.5 minutes, but this baby's in the books as Tennessee has roared away. I think this game was 14-0, and after the extra point, this is going to be a cool 45-3 run by the Big Orange. Well, sometimes Virginia Tech, which got off to such a good start, they explain things in NASCAR sometimes by saying it's just one of those racing deals. They've had a lot of those deals. Fender came off, bumper on the ground, tire blown out, lug nuts falling off. Tennessee,
is that bad?
Putting the hammer down. 45-17.
Lug nuts falling off. That's gotta be a problem.
Well, Virginia Tech, once upon a time up 14-0, but since the second quarter started, a 45-3 spurt for Tennessee. They're on their way to victory, and we're on our way to week 1 of the NFL. Sunday on ESPN, 10 Eastern, NFL Insider Sunday edition. Injury news, fantasy updates, all of the early breaking stories. Then at 11, the new Sunday NFL Countdown. Crew now, Chris Berman, Trent Dilfer, Charles Woodson, Matt Hasselbeck, and Randy Moss carry it a kickoff. Always streaming live, and watch ESPN and the ESPN app as Stroman gets drilled as he crosses the 20-yard line. 6:28 to go, and Gerard Evans and Virginia Tech have had a disastrous run in terms of taking care of the ball. I think just not putting it on the ground would be a victory here.
Yeah, I know Justin Fuente is frustrated. There will be a lot of film work to try to improve, but you got to talk about Butch Jones and the job that he's doing right now and building this Tennessee program up. You know, I think he feels that this team can compete. They got off to a slow start in their season against Appalachian State. It's got off to a slow start tonight. The turning point in their season may be that fumble, because it kind of ignited them. Not just tonight, but there's so much pressure on them to win and get to Atlanta that sometimes that can affect a team and make them feel like they have to try to live up to some almost unrealistic expectations. This is a veteran team, 17 returning starters of a team that was 9-4. You have a quarterback that's played a lot of football. I mean, they're very high expectations. And tonight, they finally just played. Virginia Tech kind of opened the door for them, but they just finally started to play. And if I'm a Tennessee fan, I'm not only excited about this year, I'm excited about Butch Jones and the job he's doing in recruiting and the facilities and everything really that they have going in Knoxville. There's a lot to be excited about.
And that record last year, Kirk, it was, I think, even more than just being 9-4. It's the way they had opportunities to win the Oklahoma game, the Florida game, the Alabama game. All of those were opportunities for Tennessee to truly have a special season. There's such a hunger among that fan base and really within that football program to get back to the level that Tennessee has been at in the past, and that's the next step. This is what they have coming up. They've won on September 24th. It's gargantuan because of the losing streak the Vols have had against the Gators.
And people forget that this program is still learning how to win. Honestly, they're 9-4 last year, but you go the previous 7 seasons, they were 40-47, below 500 combined, and last year 9-4. And so when you're learning how to win, like when Alabama does well, when Ohio State does well, it's consistency. It's not an emotional, hey, we're really high and excited today, next week we're going to be flat. The following week we're going to get excited. The next week we're flat. It's consistency, and that's what he's trying to find with his team this year.
Inside 5 minutes to play as we check in down on the track with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Hey guys, Butch Jones, you guys were talking about the fact that they had trouble finishing some of those big games a year ago. In the offseason, Butch, when he was talking about coming here, the NASCAR terminology, he said guys can lead races late. They start looking in their mirrors and thinking about what's coming up behind them, and guess what? They don't win. He said the focus has got to be out the windshield. We got to focus forward on the next play, the next lap. That's how we win races. That's how we win ball games. We got to overcome adversity, which is what they did on Thursday night against Appalachian State. And after going down by 2 scores here, that's what they have done here tonight, focusing forward and trying to be able to finish.
Yeah, Doc, we've seen it again tonight, and it was a sluggish start, but he's got to be very proud that they kept fighting. Now, he's going to have a lot of film work and a lot of stuff to be able to show them that they can get a lot better. And that offensive line, when they look at that first quarter, and they look at some of the pass protection situations, they should want to sprint out to the practice field and into the weight room to try to get better. Before, we've seen Florida these first couple weeks. They look pretty good on defense.
Yeah, they really do.
Not to mention Alabama and the rest of the SEC teams that they're going to be playing.
Couple of weeks away from that showdown with the Gators. Evans starts to throw it, pulls it down. Gerard is tripped up by Golden as he works his way inside the 10-yard line.
And if you're Virginia Tech, it's a transition year with a new head coach. There's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some highs. There's going to be some lows. It's going to be one of those kind of years.
Jai McKenzie lowering his shoulder and sending some volunteer bodies flying.
Hated all the turnovers, but if you look at this team with the skill that they have, with this new offensive system, Justin Fuente and the quarterback Gerard Evans, they're going to win their fair share of games.
McKenzie goes into the end zone. Virginia Tech scores a touchdown for the first time since the first quarter. You know, the fumbles, Kirk, tonight we've harped on them because it's been the biggest part of the game. The fumbles in the first 2 weeks for Virginia Tech are bad, but losing 9 of the 10, having none of them bounce back to you, hardly any of them bounce out of bounds or whatever. Some of that's bad luck, too, that you think won't last. You know, sooner or later, they're not going to put the ball on the ground as much as they have in the first 2 games.
No, but I mean, with a Bud Foster defense that's going to be better than they were a year ago, you can already see that. And with a quarterback that's going to give you a chance to compete in their division.
He's going to, Evans, speaking of, is going to continue to get better. Bud Foster told us yesterday that Justin Fuente told him because of the way they play offense. You don't have to be perfect on defense anymore. Bud sort of laughed and said, he doesn't know me very well yet.
Right.
I mean, Bud's always going to want perfection. He's going to want better than they've seen in spots tonight, but the fumbles have put them in really difficult spots at different times. 3.5 minutes to go, just under that. Tennessee with a 21-point lead, and here is Bud Foster. We talked earlier about his decision to stay after Frank Beamer left and Justin Fuente took over. And among Power 5 teams since 1996, they have set the pace in negative plays or positive plays from a defensive standpoint. Sacks, the interceptions, the lunch pail mentality. Lunch pail defense, I'm sure most know the story. Had it since the mid-90s. They put the mission inside and weekly keys and goals, and when they get big road wins, little pieces of the turf, and they carry this old workers lunch pail around to remind them of the mentality that they want to have on defense, and it's one that's served Virginia Tech extraordinarily well, as long as Foster's been the defensive coordinator, and certainly will as we move into this Justin Fuente era. In Tennessee, with 3:28 left, will take over on the 25 after the touchback. Tonight over on ESPN, after the Virginia-Oregon game, Sports Center at night. John Butchercross, John Anderson. They'll have all the college football highlights, plus the U.S. Open, Major League Baseball, and all the latest NFL news and more. Sports Center at night. It's on ESPN, and you can watch Sports Center at night on the Watch ESPN and ESPN app. Now, Tennessee, Joshua Dobbs' night is finished. Quentin Dormady is coming in. I'm not going to lie to you, Kirk. Nothing against Dormady, who is a talented young quarterback and has a bright future. But after Sharon Jones put on the show on the sideline, I was kind of rooting for him to get a snap or two here. And 13 got him riled up when things weren't going well.
Yeah, he did. Showed a little bit of emotion there.
There he is.
He's been talking the whole night.
Send Dr. Jerry Punch over there to tell Butch we're going to see Sharon take a snap or two here. You know, we joke about it, but a teammate who's comfortable enough, even though he's not playing, to challenge his teammates and exhort them and then root for them when things start going well, that's what you look for. Butch Jones talks a lot about family and understanding his players' personalities and how they can affect one another and so forth. And sometimes you can affect your teammates even when you're not the star of the team at the time.
I remember when Jameis Winston was redshirting and E.J. Manuel was the starting quarterback. There was no chance that Jameis would ever get on the field. And when the offense would come over to the sidelines, he was in their face, and like he ended up doing when he became the starter, but he was in their face challenging them. And more than E.J. Manuel. It just wasn't E.J. Manuel's personality to do that as much as Jameis.
Jameis did it Labor Day night at halftime too when he came back to watch the Seminoles play against Ole Miss.
Glad to see that Dormady got the memo about working that play clock.
As Tennessee winds out final minute 50 of this battle at Bristol, and they're going to get their second win of the year. Stay tuned for the Ford wrap-up after the game. Cassidy Hubbard will have that. It's wild finishes. TCU and Arkansas was a barn burner. BYU and Utah, and of course the game we've talked about a couple of times, Central Michigan beating Oklahoma State on a most controversial call. Jalen Hurd, 22 carries, 99 yards tonight. Hard running for Tennessee.
Now, even though today was a quiet day as far as marquee matchups, next week we get back into some great games in college football.
We told you College Game Day is going to Louisville for Florida State and the Cardinals. Alabama goes on the road to Ole Miss, Ohio State and Oklahoma.
And it just goes to show you how with game day you never know where you're going to go.
Right.
We all got together in early August and we thought that third week it was like, wow. I mean, is it Alabama, Ole Miss? Is it Ohio State, Oklahoma? Is it Stanford, USC? Is it Michigan State, Notre Dame? I don't think one person said, no. Hey, don't forget about that Florida State Louisville game. And now here we are. Can't wait to go there.
Has the Bear chimed in yet to say that he had it on his radar, Florida State and Louisville?
No, it might have been number 7 on the list.
Yeah, that's true. But Louisville has been electric in the first couple of weeks. Lamar Jackson.
Great town, too. Go there every year for the Derby.
Look forward to getting there for sure. It's been a great trip to Bristol as well. Started off much better than it finished for Justin Fuente, and Tennessee roars away with a 45-24 win as the final seconds tick off here in front of the largest crowd ever to see a college football game. Better than 156,000. I believe the official count was 156,990. Josh Dobbs in Tennessee look a little bit more like what was expected in the preseason, with a dominant performance from the second quarter on, taking advantage of every opportunity and playing much better up front. Dobbs made plays both with his feet and through the air. Victorious coaches, Butch Jones, he's with Sam Ponder.
Coach, 8 straight wins for the first time since 1998. What does that mean to your program?
Well, it's just another win, and it puts us at 2-0, and we'll get ready to go for another week. But again, it's been a remarkable turnaround for this football program, and everyone has really invested in it, and we have to keep this thing going. This individual right here in our first recruiting class really helped change the culture of Tennessee football and get us back to where we need to be. But we made a lot of mistakes tonight that we have to correct as we continue to improve as a football team.
You mentioned turnaround, and I immediately thought of this game. What is the difference between the team we saw in the first quarter and the way you finished up tonight?
I think we woke up a little bit, and this team is learning how to have intensity for 60 minutes, and we're still not there yet. But obviously the turnover by the defense, and then a big play, and then obviously a big touchdown pass from him as well. So we're going to enjoy this tonight.
Thanks, Coach. Let's talk to your QB. Josh, big night for you. What's up? I'm not used to getting that one. All right. You set a record tonight, most rushing yards ever all time by a Tennessee quarterback. What enabled you to run the ball the way you were able to tonight?
Really just the O-line. You know, they dominated the line of scrimmage from the beginning of the game. We started off a little slow, but, you know, our defense did a great job having our back, putting us in positive situations, and then we were able to capitalize. But, you know, our tempo really played a big part, and we were able to own the line of scrimmage.
Wait a second, though, Josh. You said your O-line dominated from the beginning. Let's be honest. There were some early struggles. How were they able to get it together tonight?
There was, but we knew that coming in. You know, we're playing aggressive defense, so we talked about we had to be patient with the explosives. That was a big thing coming into this game. We knew our time would come, and when we had the plays out there, we just had to go out and make plays like we did tonight.
I'm sure you haven't been asked about this much, but we had your guy Sharon Jones on camera a lot tonight because he was the most vocal guy on the sideline. He was getting after your O-line, too. What's he saying to you guys out there?
He's the most energized guy on the sideline. That's my little brother, and I always tell him, you know, bring my energy for me, keep me going throughout the game. So that's what he does. He's motivating me, pushing the offense, doing everything, always going. You know, he might not play, but he definitely makes an impact on the sideline with his attitude, and that definitely helps us a lot.
Last thing for you, this environment. I mean, we saw the fireworks, 156,000 people. What was it like to play in a game like this that's never been done before?
Absolutely insane. You know, I remember coming to Tennessee my freshman year and, you know, talking about this game. I saying, you know, you'll be a senior starting at the Bristol, and everything that's leading up, how we've turned around as a team, and the position we're in this year. And, you know, there was definitely a circle around this game for sure, and it was an amazing atmosphere, a great turnout by our fans, and, you know, 156,000, that's a lot of people.
And a great finish for the Vols. Congratulations, Josh. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Samantha, 45-24 the final, and it has been a really spectacular weekend. 20 years in the making to put together this game. The Bristol Motor Speedway and all of the people who organized this event, the officials from both schools did a magnificent job, created a great atmosphere all the way from the start of game day through the end of the game tonight, Kirk.
Yeah, it has been a special week, and I think the players are enjoying themselves after a big win, and even Jones down there. And ever imagine he'd have a camera in his face walking off the field here at the Battle of Bristol after not taking one snap, but the emotions of the game. He helped turn it around, and that was the difference. You heard Coach tell Sam, we woke up. Well, they woke up because of a Virginia Tech fumble when they were up 14-0. It was like flipping a coin. It changed the game. Next play is a fade in the end zone. Jones makes a nice play for a touchdown, or Jennings
right.
Makes a nice play for a touchdown, and that was it. That turned the game around.
Yeah, the toughest guy on the team. They say made a tough play to help get him going. And then every loose ball Tennessee was quicker to it. They got the fumbles. They took advantage of every opportunity they got. And you expect teams sometimes to be finished products from the beginning. We know they grow over the course of the season, and Tennessee took a step in the right direction tonight, finishing off Virginia Tech by 3 touchdowns. Tonight's game was produced by Bill Bunnell and directed by Jeff Evers, just capping off a wonderful weekend, a wonderful night in Bristol. Largest crowd ever to see a college football game, and it wasn't just a game, it was an event here in Thunder Valley, known for tough, hard-nosed racing, and we saw plenty of hard-nosed football tonight between these two proud programs. But it was Tennessee making the clutch plays behind their veteran quarterback Joshua Dobbs, and they come out of Bristol with a victory. Time now for the Ford wrap-up. Let's go to Cassidy Hubbard.
Thanks, Reese. Welcome to the Ford Wrap-Up. I'm Cassidy Hubbard. And for a day without any headlining ranked versus ranked matchups, there sure were a lot of headlines. Some good, some bad, some ugly, and some absolutely bizarre, like what happened between Oklahoma State and Central Michigan. End of the game on an untimed down. Cooper Rush heaves one deep, caught by Jesse Kroll, who then laterals the ball to Corey Willis, who takes it in for the score and the win. Central Michigan stuns Oklahoma State. However, Mid-American Conference rep Tim O'Day, as well as the MAC and the Big 12 Conference, acknowledged that the Chippewas were wrongly awarded an untimed down after an intentional grounding penalty. In most cases, a game can't end on a penalty, but the rule book does address plays like this as an exception. Basically, a loss of down penalty on the offense can end a game and should have in this case. An unfortunate circumstance, but the NCAA can overturn this outcome. As for the good, as in Alabama's really good, taking on Western Kentucky, Mike White intercepted by Eddie Jackson, who returns it to the house 55 yards for the score. Some nice moves there. His third career pick six. Bama goes on to win 38-10. Florida State dominant in their game versus Charleston Southern. DeAndre Francois, he good, throws deep to Travis Rudolph in the end zone for the 36-yard touchdown. One of 3 Francois TDs on the day. FSU rolls. Number 4, Ohio State also looked good against Tulsa after a slow start. Dane Evans picked off by Marshawn Lattimore, and Lattimore fouls his blocks into the end zone for the touchdown. Ohio State wins 48-3. They've won 21 straight versus unranked teams. More of the good, Michigan beat UCF behind 4 passing touchdowns from Wilton Spate, and Wisconsin had nearly 300 yards rushing in their win over Akron. Wild one between Arkansas and TCU in double overtime. Arkansas needs a touchdown to win. 3rd and goal from the 5. Austin Allen muscles his way in for the touchdown. He also had 3 passing TDs, caught the pass on the game-tying 2-point conversion as well. Arkansas snapping the Horned Frogs' 14-game home winning streak. Houston just fine without Greg Ward Jr. The Cougars had 3 100-yard rushers for the first time in 42 years. Notre Dame scored 25 points in the second quarter to cruise past Nevada. Some less good performances. Georgia entered the game against Nicholls with a 99.9% chance to win according to FPI. Lorenzo Carter scoops up the fumble, goes 24 yards for the touchdown. Georgia, though, squeaks by 26-24. Number 19 Ole Miss allowed Wofford to gain 233 yards on the ground, but still got the win. Baylor and SMU were tied at 6 at halftime before the Bears pulled away in the second half. And I told you there was some ugly. Clemson and Troy. Ray McLeod finds a lane, and he takes it all the way. Drops the ball here before he crosses the goal line. The call would be reversed. He loses his shoe on the 30, and then the football on the 1. How does this keep happening? Clemson, though, would go on to win 30-24. UConn Navy. UConn down 28-24, less than 20 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. They get stuffed at the goal line. UConn out of timeouts, and they're unable to run another play. So time expires, and Navy would hold on to win 28-24. And some ugly beatdowns. Texas A&M, they would beat Prairie View 67-0. Its largest shutout win since 1993. Jake Browning had a career-high 5 touchdown passes in Washington's win over Idaho. Washington led 42-0 in the third quarter. The moral to the story, college football never disappoints, guys. And next week on ABC, College Game Day in town, as Louisville hosts Florida State at noon. And Louisville quarterback Lamar Jackson has 13 touchdowns. Yes, 13 touchdowns through 2 games. Oregon visits Nebraska at 3:30, and in primetime, Christian McCaffrey in 7th-ranked Stanford hosts USC. That's the Ford Wrap-Up. See you next week.
You've been watching the Ford Wrap-Up, presented by the new 2017 Ford Escape. Be unstoppable.